Morning, everyone. Morning. Welcome back. Oh, I missed you guys. It's been a minute. It has been a minute since being here on Friday, long weekend, and wow. Well, hello, Mr. Market. Up, and away we go. Anyone that was watching that Sunday Open, it just went. I wasn't watching it. I came back to the screens an hour or two later, and I was like, what the hell is going on here? So, as always, we're going to start off on the daily chart. Okay, so we're going to ignore, there is no Monday. All right, we ignore what happened yesterday in terms of a daily bar. That all gets included into today, which means what? All right, we're gapping up, big gap up. All right, decent sized gap up, almost 400 points. All right, so bullish on a gap up. We're gapping up above old all-time highs, above RBS levels. We've held this dip. We see the 20-day starting to catch up now. We talked about this in the newsletter. We have room to come up and test this top Bollinger Band this week. All right, we've created room, even from a fib projection. We've created everything lining up right now for a good extension upside. The problem right now is that the dips, the people getting paid, are the swing longs down here. All right, anyone who's a swing long down here is getting paid. We don't want to really be a new money long at all-time highs. So we're going to have to watch for key levels. Now, if some of you were trading overnight, it gave you a fantastic opportunity to be involved. Let's pull back down to this. We're going to focus on the hourlies. Very simple, isn't it? This is about as easy as you get. Right, here's the gap up. There's the consolidation, which you don't chase. We wait for a retest. Right down here, anyone is in Discord, had it absolutely laid out for them. Mo did the laying out for you this weekend. I don't even need to teach anymore. You guys are so good. We come down, and there you go. There's your load the boat scenario. All right, and it even gives you the nice leg for it. Right, that's the failed breakdown underneath, and away we go. So even if you missed this opportunity for a cheap long, all right, it actually gave you another tap back in here into 830s, and then you should be taking some profit here and seeing what happens now. So congrats, any of you actually got that? Fantastic. All right, we have to be careful as New York traders this morning because of where we're opening up. We will give some respect to the amount of volume created here. I know it was in a flattish session, but we did spend a number of hours here. Okay, we can see we can spend basically a whole day here. All right, so we've come from RBS into potential, although low volume, SBR. All right, so we're gonna give credit to this, which means what? Well, we can ping pong in this area. Probably not quite like how I've drawn it, but we can. So if you're long from here, what you're looking right now is to find acceptance back through 930. 930 is going to be an important level. If you get through 930, you're then looking for the drive back towards 975, and we all know where we want to go. 30,000 break is what it's looking for. All right, 30,000 break is what it's currently looking for at the moment. If we fail up here at 930, there is potential to come back down into this node again. And this is your current week, all right, and hold anyone who is a seller down here stuck. All right, so maybe we get very lucky and we get a 100-point move from 930 to 830, something in here. They might ping pong in here. It's very possible they ping pong in here. But if they do this and then find acceptance, that's uber bullish. All right, if we fail 930 and we fail 830, maybe we ping pong a lip and then we do this, then we're coming back down to this RBS zone. If we start failing underneath this, okay, then we're thinking about a rotation of previous day's value. We still have gap fill right the way down here, remember, if it really wants. That's not my primary thing I'm looking for today. I will think about that as and when we come back down here and it proves to me it wants to move lower. That's certainly not the primary thing I'm looking for today. Probably the primary thing, unless things change, are dips or holds for the break. I don't really want to be getting long up here if I can avoid it. I'd rather have some risk on before that point, trimming, and then we can always add back on. All right, so make it simple. When we think about the GEX levels, might need to get some of these adjusted because I don't think it's adjusted it properly. Give me a second. No, Tanuki is a bit slow today. Maybe they're still in bed. Let's just do the manual update. Give this a second. There we go. Sip of the coffee. All right, we're holding well above, all right, the dictating zone, which is like well down into previous day's value. We're also holding above Cool Wall 1 for the day. all right, which is 860s, all right? We said we'd probably buy dips down toward 830s. This is your current value for the week, all right? So we'd consider dips down here. It's already done it once, unfortunately, so it's not ideal. But dips here that hold, partials into here, acceptance through here, and we can look for the break, ideally, all right? Ideally a break through the 30,000s, and we can look for some of these upside targets. Are there any more? No. All right, we need to be very careful today that we don't get caught in some form of range, whether it's here, here, or here. All right, it's very possible. We have weak numbers today. We have some consumer sentiment coming. It's going to be a bad print, guys. All right, it's going to be a bad print. The market's probably not going to care. What we're really more concerned on is what's going on in Iran right now. That's all anyone's really looking at. All right, we move up into lower time frames. Let's go and move this to a 5 minute. And we're going to go through the other indexes. If this wants to play ball, there we go. All right, go through the other indexes. Let's have a look at ES. Same story on ES. All right, big gap up. Nice and simple. There's your RBS zone. Wick to wick. Hello. All right, and it's holding it. So we've built out some liquidity here, which is currently stuck, but we're bullish overall. We've held RBS. All right, the question is, can it reclaim here and get going? The cheap long was here. Or here, we've missed those opportunities. The train has left the station, so we now need to wait. Either it's going to give us another opportunity to get long, or it's going to hold this and we have to join for this move here, or it's going to, for some reason, not like the news, not like anything, let go of it, and then we can trade it back downside. Clean these out. SPY's the same story. All right, all-time highs pretty much. Big gap up. RBS zone will be down here. 649s. Sorry, 749s. Wow. So yeah, spiders, I'd be watching 750, 749s. If you lose 749s and stay heavy, then more likely to see gap fill kind of play down into here. Otherwise, you're looking to buy dips for breakouts. All right, QQQ. Just madness. Absolute madness. There's your RBS. All right, in the beginning of the New York session, give it to you with the pre-market. All right, and it held the high low. And you're looking for a drift. So right now, if they hold 25s, it's how far can you drift? You're just trying to hold on to runners. Anyone who got long down here, pre-market, or any of you swing longs, just hold on. See how far you can go. We will start getting concerned if we're losing 25s and 24s. All right, that will start feeling more like gap fill potential at that point, but not until that point. I don't want to be forcing short in a market which wants to move higher. Right. Interestingly, while we're seeing all this, you're seeing crude taper off, which is interesting considered what happened yesterday. But there we go. This is a big range, right? This is a giant range. I'm going to move to a 4 hour. This can still go either way, believe me. All right. This is not done yet. All right. Crude's done when it's done, not beforehand. All right. We've been up here since the beginning of this war. All right, and we are still building higher lows and we're building lower highs and we're getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Something will give. We're going to have something give. We will not stay up here forever. All right, and we can see if we move out to weeklies, right, we are still holding weekly levels. Right, we are still clearly building out here, and it has the chance to do this if things get bad. Right, what we need crude to do to really be super bullish and risk on is come back down into this zone here. I don't see that happening right now. So just be aware of that. That's your risk profile. Dixie as well, trying to get back upside at the moment, holding this level. So we went from chop zone, drop, W zone, holding top of W, chop here, and then make a decision. Same with oil. VIX, we don't really need to look at. That's coming down in. The big one I want to look at right now is this bad boy here. All right, these are the semis, which are gapping up over the 200s now. All right, well over the 200s. That's a big, big, big gap up. There's your 200. All right, and these have room now. After doing the consolidation and starting to break, same as the market with it, they have room. And they're starting to really go for it. So just be aware of that. Any big flush into 200, I expect buyers to step in. But at some point, there's probably going to be a sell the news event on these, but we'll just have to wait when. Right, MAG. Most of these are gapping up and looking pretty good. Apple, good gap up, well over the 310, definitely over the 300, looking strong. So all the time dips are holding 310. Right, you can see this is trying to do sort of a cup and handle kind of job. That 310 is your level right now to look on to start with. If they start losing 310, we can watch the gap. If they start losing the gap, then that's when we can think about weakness. Amazon, gapping up but coming back in. All right, gapping up but coming back in. Does it hold its gap? You can see the big level here, the New York view up. This is where all the buyers got caught on Friday. All right, so we're failing to find acceptance back inside of that. That's the big question right now. Can it find acceptance back inside? Goog, hello Goog, there we go. Another gap up, failing to break away right now. All right, Goog's looked a bit weaker than some of the others. You can see this, and this. It's got the chance to fade under this. It has the chance. At the moment, we're not seeing it. It's had 1, 2, 3 attempts. If we get back inside, anything back above sort of 80s and 82s is a sign of strength to come back into the range. All right, if they reject 80s and 82s and they set another lower high there, then I expect they're going to try and get down into this thin liquidity here. They're struggling to get there at the moment, so that's a bit of a battle on the hands. Meta is one of the weaker ones. Was gapping down. Are we now flat on the day? No, we're still gapping down. Okay. Meta a little bit weaker here, so it's trying to get back to the buy side of the curve. We've swept some liquidity. If they lose the bid here, then I expect 605s and 602s to be tested, but we'll see. It's one of the weaker ones, as is Microsoft, one of the weaker ones as well. Looks like it's going to open up almost flat at the moment, so recovering some of those. Nvidia's strong, obviously. Semis are strong. Right, big gap up after selling back down. This level here matters. All right, 20s. This level here matters, right, because we've walked away from it. We've gapped up. Can they hold the mid-teens and test the 20s? The 20s is what's going to dictate whether this has strength for upside or not, in my mind. Tesla, looking great, back above the 420s that we talked about. Here they are. All right, we chopped around them and we're up and away. This is going to try and really have a go today, and you can see 440 is their target today if they get going. I'm going to have a look at a few of the broader names just before the open so you can see. Software still catching a bid. All right, Oracle's starting to look good. We're still swing long in these. We're starting to go buy side of the curve. I'd actually like to add some risk onto this soon, so hopefully we can get some horrible dip at some point this week, and we can start looking for the move up into here. 240s is the target, first target, 220 to 240 if we can get there. AMD, of course, ripping. I've got a tiny piece left on this. It's ridiculous. I'm almost 200% up on this now. But there we go. I'm not going to add any size on this. Some of these other software names still sort of coming back in, but starting to base out a lot on software right now. We can have a little quick look at some of these. I'm sure they're gapping and going. Yeah, that looks good. We're still swing long. IONQ looks great. NVTS again looks great. Rigetti. So some of these need to come back down. I would imagine there's a pullback coming before another rally higher. How is healthcare doing? Energy still looks okay. Where is OSCR? There you are. All right, that's coming back in. So we'll see if energy, healthcare and energy comes back in this week, and if they find dips. That'll be something I'll have my eyes out on for cheaper buybacks if we see some form of rotation later in the week. All right, team. So clear rejection up here so far. You know the levels, right? We've gone over them. Really, I'm going to be watching sort of, we can do some light greys. You going to play ball? Light greys, like how my hair is getting at the moment. Hitting 40s. All right, these are the levels I'm interested in this morning. See how we act around these levels. See how we act around these levels. Nvidia tanking. I mean, it's still gapping up. It's coming back into its gap. I mean, it's pulled back $2. I mean, not sure I'd class it as tanking, but coming back inside for sure. All right, folks, how long we got left here? Just under a minute. Let's see. They might just wash this around for the open. You can see the levels. I'm certainly not going to be buying the shove up, not unless we get above 930, which is my least favorite area to buy. So we'll see if dips come in today. And we can think about shorts only if momentum is very, very clear in changing. Not beforehand. I'm not interested beforehand. Here we go. All right, there's your open, folks. We're going to come and test this 930. This is the level. Can they find acceptance through this or not? If they find acceptance through this, they're going to look for all-time highs. If they come up here and reject, they're going to wash back down to this level. So we're going to watch to see if we base above 930s. I'm willing to look at it long. It's my least favorite one. How did that Nvidia tank do for you? Probably not very well. It's just a little wiggle before the market open. So we just sit and we wait to see if we're going to get back above the 930s or come into one of these levels. If we get back above 930s, I'll be interested. If we come into some of these levels, I'll be interested. I'm not going to trade in between this absolute nonsense while it figures out what absolute craziness it is that it wants to do. Okay, coming back down and in towards the VWAP and Globex. All of the mag green, other than Microsoft. Nvidia is trying to go red to green right now, trying to find a bid. Soxal is trading at the 210s. If that loses a bid, it's got a long way to come back down into the 200s. If they got over ambitious yesterday in pre-market, but we'll see. Q's trying to see if they can hold the 725s. Relative weakness on the ES and spiders right now. Depends if they're going to take profit today or they want that 30k, or if they need to trap down here first. AMD continuing, yeah, it is. I mean, we've seen what you've seen on those semis is just a rotation between each semi, you know, from like Nvidia to AMD, AMD to MU, MU to INTC, INTC to TXN, etc., propping each other up. They have like a moment of cool off and then they start to go. All right, still failing to get back above here right now, just at that New York Open. I'm not going to take the short here for sure. There's no way. I don't care if this flushes, it can do what it wants. It's too risky to try and lean on this in my mind right now. ES coming down. Let's have a little zoom in here. Yeah, ES coming down to its sort of Globex levels. Much weaker on the ES right now. Semis held that 210s that we talked about. Microsoft the only weak one now. Nvidia now 0.90% up. So Softy the only weak one that we're seeing right now. And relative weakness in the ES, as we've had for a number of sessions at the open when the semis hold the print, which is what we're seeing at the moment. So we'll see how we act around here and around here at the moment. Not interested in playing ball right now. I just want to wait. I think we're going to catch someone offside at some point and then they'll make a true move afterwards, I would imagine. So QQQ's into 725s and it's VWAP. First grey box here. So first decision point in here. If they lose this, they'll come down into this. Just let this settle. You're still only 3 minutes into the day, folks. Nice and calm. SOXL still holding up very, very well. Some absorbing taking place down here. They haven't filled all the liquidity down to 45, which are clearly resting down there, asking to get filled. Let me just zoom out and see if there's any big numbers. Oh, Bookmap, you're going to fail on me, eh? Thanks very much. What a key time for you to decide to go down. Who would be a retail trader? This is bullshit. Get this open again. All right, under grey box, so they might try and rotate to the next grey box. This is value area low for the week, current week that is, at the moment. What a time for it to go down. Fuck off. There we go. All right, finding a bid on value area low for a moment. Like I said, there's lots of liquidity below, just sat there waiting to be filled. It hasn't been filled yet. SOXL still holding up over the 210 sprint, so no indication of big selling in chips yet. You're seeing weakness in ES, so they're going box to box, possible down into here. And we'll see if they find a bid there. This is where we sort of found a bid from, I don't know what time this morning, 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. this morning. This is sort of where we found the bid. This is sort of into the sort of midpoint of London and Asia right now. So I'd say this grey box is going to be somewhat key, whether they're willing to find a bid down here. If they're not willing to find a bid down here, then they're going to come to the next level and test value from yesterday. You're going to need chips to fail to see that, I think, and you're not actually seeing that right now. You're seeing a response. So there's the dip on the grey box. Do they come back inside value for the current session or current weekly session, 45s? Big seller came in here at 50s, by the way. Big seller. So you get it back above that, there's a good chance of a lift back up to 29880s. 50s is the level right now. He might get himself caught here. If they don't see a flush, he's going to get caught. So good defending of 50s. He's still there for now. He's trying to hold up. Here come the defense. They're trying to lift back through 50s. They're not getting the move they want yet. ES hit Globex and finding a bid, so that's all timing out well. SOXL is looking like it wants a new high of day. It definitely wants a new high of day here. So 50s is your level. If they start basing above 50s, there is a drive back up to 880s. So I'm watching this carefully because we've now hit the areas of interest for me. So here's the 50s. Are we going to lift 50s and start driving up now? This is a big moment for this market to make a decision on what's going to happen next. Still not through it. We're just sort of dangling around. Need to see an acceleration away from this. I'm going to be very careful for fail break on the semis as well. So they're right at high of day right now. They held the 210s like we talked about. If they start breaking away, they're going to look for 220s. So we're watching to see. Here goes the semis at high of day. Do they break away now or not? Bookmap, what are you doing? Here we go. Right, wait and see if we start lifting here. There's lots of sellers here at 50s and 60s. Just want to see if we're going to break away or not. SOXL struggling at that high of day break, coming back inside. Timing this is going to be hard. It's tempting to put risk on here, but I think maybe one more little move down and absorption would be nice. ES under New York Open, underneath New York VWAP right now. 750 key on SPY. Watching to see if we lift here. If we now pull back in and hold 55 to 50, I'm going to put some risk on. Don't go without me. It's a little imbalance here. I want to see if we pull back in and hold. New high of day, SOXL. Trying to get risk on here. If it would just pull back in a little bit for me. Can you pull back in a little bit for me? There we go. Put one on there, small size. Versus current low. We'll see if we go. I need SOXL to hold the print. No, I do not want to get washed out for my start of the day. Let me see if we can get up to 880 if possible. Don't really want it under 46s if possible. The battle here. Come on, SOXL, up you go. Help me out. Come on. We've got to get through this imbalance at 64s and through this low volume node. Want to be very careful here. Small size because it's an early trade. We're not full alignment yet. I'm not going to let this come under 42s now that it's done this dance. I'm going to get a tighter stop in, so I'm not risking much on this trade at all. It's good absorbing here. It's a bit of a battle here. You can see it on the tape. Looks good. Come on. Need ES to get back through the New York Open. That would give us strength. Like I said, stops move to 42s. I don't need to risk low of day now, but based on the shelf that they built out. Oh, I haven't put volume on there for you, have I? What an arsehole. Sorry, guys. There you go. You can see now why I was looking for the hold of here and why I'm only risking sort of 42s. Right, ideally, we get through this low volume node and we come up here. and we can come and test sort of 80s. This low volume node is holding as supply right now, or resistance, whatever you want to call it. We need SPY back through VWAP and 25s, and we need ES back, sorry, we need Qs back through VWAP and 25s. We need SPY through 750. Here we go, looking a bit better. All right, stop move break even now, and we'll see if we can now lift. Here comes the 880s. So if you want to take a partial into this, you can. I would like to see us reclaim this all and just go turbo with what chips are doing. They look like they want 220s today. Really good. Here we go. Nice start to the day. Fantastic. Here the 880. So if you want to peel some off here, you can. I'm going to hold and see if we can get back through the 29,900 and break out for the 30K on a reclaim of 29,930s. I'm going to try and hold if I can. Looks good. So here's your TP1 if you want it into this high volume node here. Once we get through this and through the New York Open, I think we lift, which is what I'm looking for. ES into a sensitive level now. This is New York Open on ES. So can we get through this? And the SPY, here we go. Let's fucking go. 1 for 1. Let's go, baby. All right, there's 50 points. Let's see if we can keep lifting. Let's see if we can keep lifting. This was the pre-market plan. Yes, grey boxes. All right, we'll see if we can get dips into grey boxes. Here we go. Reclaim 50s. New York Open. We'll see if we can get back up. 920, 930 now. Key. If we start basing above this, I'm going to start adding. Right. So we're long from 50s. If we start basing above this, I'm going to start adding for this move here to 30,000. Here we fucking go. Let's go. All right. A good sign here would be a hold of 29,000-ish. I'm not going to add up there, though. I'm going to wait for a break above 930s if I'm going to be adding. Lots of liquidity up to 950 to fill. So we will see, folks. ES through the levels. We'll just see how far this can go. We want to be careful. SOXL, like a little pullback off the 16s at the moment. I'd like it to hold a bid at 15s just to make me very comfortable. Don't really want to come all the way down here, which it can do. It can come right back to 880 because it's where we're thick. I don't really want it to do that. Here we go. Beautiful, guys. This is exactly what we wanted. Fantastic. Right, let's see if we can get through the 930s. You can trim some here. I'm going to be adding if we can get above and base. If we can hold the pullbacks above all of this, I'm going to start adding. Looking for 30,000s. Come on. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Approaching 100 points for the day. Here's your morning trade. Took you 13 minutes to get 100 points with Alex today. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's see if we can get above here in base. Paid myself a little bit there because I'm trying to not be too greedy, but we will see because this can come back down and retest some of these shelves now. I would love it to hold a print above all of this because what that means then is we're not accepting, at the moment, we're not accepting prices under here. Right, that's twice. We talked about this coming back in. That's twice. We're not expecting prices under here. As long as we don't rotate this, ideally we don't rotate this. Ideally we do this move here now and take out all of these stops from shorts who are up there. But we've had a good move there, just under 100 points, 90-point move. And I will, like I said, I will add if we start to base out. One full contract, you can pay yourself with micros, my friends. When you trade with Tradeify prop. So if you trade one mini long, you can actually pay yourself with micros with Tradeify prop. I don't know if you knew that. They brought that rule in maybe 3 months ago now. There are some good videos on it on YouTube. I haven't done one on it. So you can change your contract. All right, 40s, 50s. Let's see if we can start adding. Yeah, it's only with Tradeify prop, so don't try it with another firm. They won't let you do it. But with Tradeify and NinjaTrader prop, if you trade 1 mini long, you can pay yourself in micros now. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Here we go. All right, trying to add into this for the lift. Let's see if we can get PDC, which is 60s. So we're now 100 points up. Paying myself a bit here because we are a little bit extended in this, but we'll see. I'm looking for 62s for the gap fill, and then previous day highs, basically 30,000. Watching ES here into 24-hour view up as well. Ideally, we keep squeezing. So we're coming up to gap fill here. Let's go. Fill me up here, you fuck. Pardon my French. Trying to get 62s here. Give me a little piece here into 62s. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to hold for 30,000 and 30,000 breakout. And again, this was all planned pre-market. It's why we stick to a plan. This can pull back in now. Just so you know, if they want to pull this back in, they can pull right back down to 925. Hopefully, we just keep going. Why? SOXL is gunning for 220s. This is why I said down here, do not short. Not based on what I'm seeing. On the leader on the market, which are the chip names. This is why we watch the strength in the market. Big seller coming up here. He is currently stuck now at 63s. 200 lot seller. I think we're going to fill 30,000 and above. This is a squeezer. It is a geezer lemon squeezer Ebenezer, mate. And we are milking this for the upside. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Here comes the 30,000s. If you want to trim some, you can. I'm holding my size now. I added, like I said, I was going to add above 930s, and we'll see how far this can go. Lemon squeezer. What a fucking Danny Dye geezer. All right, so you want to hold ideally a print above 62s now. Why? Seller got caught there. All right, seller got caught at 62s. Imagine that, this whole thing given for free on a Tuesday after you've had a nice long bank holiday. Hopefully this is paid for all the shopping you bought your husband or wives or kids over the weekend in those sales. I don't know, I went absolutely turbo the last few days in the sales. Went in to get a new pair of running shoes, came out with a gym shoes, gym shorts, gym top, running shoes, 2 hoodies, 2 pairs of swim shorts. Had to drag myself out of the Tudor shop with my wife. All right, testing these 62s. This is a key level here. It's where the seller got caught, okay? I'd like to see it hold 62s here, which we're doing at the moment, right? It's very, very good. That seller is currently caught. Nice little flag set up. So hopefully they hold the 62s. If they lose the 62s, they can come right back down to 920s. I'm just making you aware. Do I think it would drop hard after taking 30k? I mean, only if it's a failed breakout. There's no reason to think that right now. I think they could quite easily take profit there, but there isn't actually much gamma up there or anything else. So there's a very good chance to go. Look at SOXL. Who called that? A 210 dip this morning to go to 220. Guess what the low was this morning? 210. Guess where we are? 218.65s, 220s coming up for the gamma, and then we'll see. Here we go, folks. Let's see. 30,000, we're looking for 30,000 break, and then we're into targets above. I can give you the targets that we talked about this morning for the fibs. I think we went over some of these in the newsletter as well. Some of these would have changed. Ideally, it doesn't have to happen today. We are looking for 30,125, 30,150, or those would be the 1.5, 1.1, sorry, 1.618 extensions, and 250 as well. So you can see them up here. These are the fib extensions. So we've got a chance here. We have a chance. Just pay yourself some into grey box. Look, box, box, box. Lewis Hamilton. Or maybe we have to say Kimi Antonelli nowadays when we're talking about these, because he is cleaning up right now in this championship. And we'll see how far we go on the extension. Here we go. 220s coming up. SOXL. 220s. They will probably take some profit into this. It is only a cool wall number 6, but there is nothing left for them to look at other than, what do we have up here? 225. Strike with the most negative net delta exposure. So look at that, 220s. We came right up, pull back off it. I still think they want more. But, you know, we're holding the position where shorts caught. Where are shorts caught right now? Right here. I gave it to you, right? 62s. We're holding that. All the shorts at 62s are caught. That short is a 200 lot seller. Right? He's a 257 lot, to be exact, market seller there. So we'll see if we can reach up to the upside. If they lose this, like I said, if they want to trap, they're going to come back down to here and then probably have another go at it. So it's up to you whether you take profit there, whether you're willing to sit in this coming back. But ideally, if they come back here into this node, they find a bid and come back for more. But we've done the damage, folks. You made, I don't know, 150 points there very quickly. Here it comes back into that. What's the fail? 220 fail. So we'll watch this now if they're willing to hold the 920s box to box. Box to box. This is where I would imagine they will try and trap and lift. If they don't, they flush further down. So you just, it's up to you how you manage your position now. You made really good money on that first move. They can range this like they did. When was this? Monday, overnight Monday. So we're into that 940 to 920 level, VPOC 920. I would imagine they'll find a bid here, or they will attempt to find a bid here. And that SOXL will remain key. That will be key. I will see if there is a look of an ad here coming up or not. It feels like they want to come a bit lower to me first. That's a good hold though. Look at their strength in that low volume node. I was looking to see if we just dip down a little bit further first. They got to get back through the 60s. Remember, 62s is where that seller was stuck. He's now comfortable. SOXL still looks good. 5-minute bars still look strong. Wouldn't mind a second leg down here to trap. Don't think we're going to get it at the moment. I thought we would. Might have missed it. I was hoping we get another second leg down here. So the flush and then a reflush with a failed break would be very nice. It would be very, very easy to trade if they did this. But we're not going to get it. Straight back over 62s coming up. This is the level. Over this, new all-time highs. 220s now hit on SOXL. Remember, if they break this, the squeeze is on. So that was the dip. We just talked about that dip. I was probably greedy, looking for a second leg trap to get involved in. But that was it. The fall was all related. I don't think so. I think it's just profit taking, mate. You're looking for synergy and stuff. It's just a bit of profit taking. It was just a pullback off 220s. We're still pulling back off 220s. We've just tapped it. High of day 219.89. Right. What is driving the market right now? It's not what you think. It is this. We talk about this every day. 220s. All right. This is the level. This is the gamma exposure. 210s to hold today. 210s held. Where from 210s up to 220s. This is the gamma level. This is what's running the market right now. All right, maybe I'll get my second leg. Sorry, distracted by coffee. Look at this. See, you can see this opening. This is what is moving the market right now. If we go and have a look at some of the names, MU. All right, zoom out. All right, AMD. Dips held, INTC. Got news coming here in 5 minutes, by the way, folks. INTC. Right, this is what's moving the market. We've talked about it week after week after week. You cannot fight this right now. Right, it's so heavily condensed into these names, and they have the chance to do more damage. They'll be done when they're done, and not before. I don't know how else to say it. That's the second leg that I was looking for. So I got distracted there. That was the failed second leg that I was looking for. That was exactly it. This was the signature I was literally just talked about. I got distracted. Worst timing to talk about coffee. Can you buy SOXL calls? I mean, you can. I wouldn't be buying calls into the all-time high. I think that would be somewhat risky. You could have bought calls at 210 this morning. You got the second leg. Well done, folks. Well, we just talked about it, right? We just talked about it. This is what I would look for. This is how we trap sellers. Right, this move here. Now you need to print over 62s and a hold, and then you're going to come up here. I missed it. I got distracted, but luckily I taught you before. Taught you before it happened. So if any of you added in that, it looks very good. If you get back over that player at 62 and find acceptance over it, there's not a huge lot of excess. 77s to 85 are where the buyers are currently caught. I think if you can get over 62s and 70s, you've got a very good shot at it. But again, it's going to matter. Can SOXL get back above those 220s right now? Or say back above, can it get above it at all? And that will dictate stuff. And you've got news coming in 5. So think about that, whether you want to trim some of your size. Yeah, they want the 30,000s, man. It's just so obvious. I just haven't been able to add. Here we go. Back above the 62s. Here it comes, 30,000 push. We just talked about all of this. Congrats, everyone who took the second leg. This is why I try and teach you. Why those of you who say, oh, can you show your entries? Well, if I showed my entries there, I missed it and you lot got it. So that's why I try and teach rather than just show my entries for you. Am I playing space names? I am indeed, but I'm in an ETF. So I am long ARKX, and I have been swing long for that a bit. I called it out on Discord, ARKX. I'm long this right now. So if I zoom you out, all right. Oh, look at that. All right. Why am I long this? Well, other than the pattern. We're long this in anticipation of SpaceX, all right, which is going to be included in this fund. All right, so I'm long this. I'm up very nice on it. We talked about this in Discord. I don't know, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now, probably. So I'm long the fund rather than the individual names. You probably made more money in the individual names in the run-up. All right, 30,000 coming up here. Big buyers trying to step in. Just remember, you've got news here in 3 minutes. So if you want to trim some of your size because you might have volatility coming, I would welcome you to do that. I would welcome you to be sensible. Hi, Alex. Would I get a Discord access if we join the beginner to advanced course only? Yes. Yes. All you got to do is the beginner to advanced course. That's the only gatekeeping for Discord. Why? So that everyone has at least a good knowledge of what we're looking at together. You're going to get the break. I'm sorry, guys. Still got my flu. Here it comes. They're coming for 30,000. See if we can trim some up here and then look for the extension into some of these. Here we come, folks. There's only an 84 lot up here. He's not that big, so I expect him to get absolutely swiped out. 220s here as well. This is the level. This is the level. This will be 150 points if we can get this 30,000 fill, and then your runners after this. Don't be a dick for a tick like we talk about. Don't be like Alex and be a dick for a tick here. 220s failed there. We hit 219.95. I think it's going to come though. I don't think they leave all this liquidity sat here. If they don't take it, how long we got left? It's just under 90 seconds, 80 seconds. I want to take it before the news. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Here we come. Come on, 60 lots left to fill. Come on. Lots of big buys here. All right, I am locking some in there. Being greedy. Alex, lock some in there. And then see if we get a big swipe. You can see the importance. Yeah, exactly. 220 now hits. All right, 220 SOXL hit. It is struggling there. It is struggling there. We hit it to the dot. So hopefully that's 220 is basically our 30,000 levels. They've made it nice and easy for us to be in alignment of those levels, at least on the Qs. ES struggling, lagging behind. Why? Because semiconductors are not as important in that market. How are we doing on some of these swing longs? Oh my God, absolutely magnificent. Magnificent. IONQ, why are you showing weakness today when the rest of the market's moving up? MVTS looking great, another 8.5% up today. UNH is coming to some areas of interest for me. All right, some of these coming back in. Here we go, folks. Here we fucking go. This is what we wanted. Thank goodness. All right, you should lock some in here for sure. All right, this is a swipe. Lock some in here for sure. We've got news now. Do not be greedy. Done for the day, right? We're done. We're done. You're done-o. Man, done-o. We is done. We is out of here. We has made our money, innit, bruv. We has made it easy money, innit, bruv. Innit, bruv, ting. You're done-o. Arsenal are champions. You're done-o. You're done-o. I know you Spurs supporters watching. You is lucky mans. Lucky mans. All right, nice work. So the only thing you can really look at now is for a base above, all right, what would be the old RBS level, which is the grey box. So if we are willing, if you're really adamant on trading more, if you're willing to see this, you'll see upside. If they want to do another trap, you will see this, this, and this again. I would not be looking short side on this today. Like you would have heard me say, I'm going to ignore all this. I'm looking for dips today. All right. It's very, very obvious where this market was trying to go. Or at least to me, I thought it was obvious. And you can just see now, if I've got no size left now, so if you manage to get this to go, I might laugh and come back later and it would be, what did we say the extensions were? Let's have a look. What did we say the extensions would be? You might get them. You're very well probably going to get them. Yeah, 120, 150, 250. You can just mark those out. That's where we're trying to go. Think about what we've done here. Went over this morning. Gap up, consolidation, buyers who chased got caught. This pattern here is the same as we've just seen lower time frame into RBS. All right. Pivot, there's the hold. Once, twice again now. Can they complete these moves? Is the question I'd ask, but we've had the easy money. Now, I want you to notice this pattern. All right, this one here, failed breaking below. That's on an hourly. Market isn't fractal. It fucking is. It fucking is. All right, let's go to a 1 minute. What's this? See how it looks exactly the same as the hourly chart. How do we trap shorts? We make them chase a key level. Yeah, exactly the same pattern. It's exactly the same. I'm done for a bit. I'm going to let this build out liquidity for a while. I'm done. I've hit my target, so let this build out for a while, and I'm going to wait and see what's next. I think the gap won't be revisited. Which gap, my friend, are you specifically talking about? Because we've had a day off. So, which gap are you focused on? Are you asking, do I think we're going to come back down to 29,500? Not today. Certainly not today, if that's what you're asking. And that is the only gap that I'm really watching. There was, like, I paid attention to the 960s because it was a level yesterday, but we ain't coming down there anytime soon. Yeah, the gap we ain't coming down there anytime soon. All right. Doesn't mean it doesn't get there this week, but we are in bullish order flow. Look, let's just go over from the start of the show because you've all made money. All right, let's make this real simple for you guys who like to chase. Okay, dailies. All right, big breakout, consolidation of range, big breakout coming. All right, we've consolidated for a couple weeks. We have upside potential. Is that short? No, it's not. We have upside potential above 20-day, above 5-day, room to top Bollinger. We're breaking out. Okay, it's a long. All right, hourly. We are gapping up over previous week's value and all the previous month's value, right? We're gapping up over previous week's value, previous week here and the week before, right? We're gapping up over it. We're gapping up over Monday's value. We're holding dips into those key levels. We're holding dips into RBS. No short. No reason to come back down right now. Above 30,000, we are in price discovery. How high can we go? We don't know. As high as they want it to go. Right? So there's no reason in this market right now to try and be a seller. This is not the same thing as we have when we're in a range, right? Remember, the market's conditions have changed. For, say, 2 weeks, we were in a range where we were able to fade the top of the range and buy back the bottom of the range. You know, fade the top of the range, buy back the... We are not in that now. We are in a market which is ranged and ready to go. If the market shifts environment, all right, and, you know, if you see a clear sentiment shift on the day, even then you're above both VWAPs, but I would be more interested in the sell. I'll get rid of this. I'd be more interested, maybe there's like some scalps, but I would be more interested, let's just go for a 5 minute for a moment. Right, I'm more interested in the sell. Under this, and certainly if we lose this. Otherwise, you're playing a counter trend, right? Look, just make it simple. That's where you are, right? You're trying to play counter trend in if you're trying to sell this. Not the easiest move, but we lose this. Okay, different ball game. Different ball game. Sure, open to it. For me right now, this is an RBS zone. This is where if I was going to be more long, I'd like to see them just base out here for a moment or two. What watch is this? This is the Amiga No Time to Die edition, Seamaster, with a uncle strap on it, because I don't love the strap on this Amiga. So I put an Uncle titanium strap on it. If anyone's into their watches, check out Uncle straps. They're third parties, but their straps are amazing. I think if this Amiga had come with a strap, it would have done even more sales. But yeah. Yes, James Bond, No Time to Die, exactly. I'm a sucker for that stuff, man. I won't be buying the new one that they just put out from the game, though. I'm not into it. I have the Planet Ocean Chrono from, I don't know, 10 years ago. Big chunky piece of kit. Can it give my sleep score? No, it just gives me fucking cool points instead. You won't catch me wearing tech on my wrist. I did, like, some of you know what my wife does for a job. I did have the Apple Watch. It would drive me insane. Beep, stand up. Beep, sit down. Beep, you're fat. Move. Fuck off. I look at this and I think, fuck yeah, cool. Where's my AP swatch? In the fucking bin, son. Do I like Speedies? I do. I've been very tempted over it's the one. I don't have a Speedy in my collection. I've been very tempted over the years. I've almost pulled the trigger numerous times, but I haven't pulled the trigger. I don't know why. I think it's because there's a part of me that would do it. Here's where my head's at. I would get a Speedy if I wasn't going to get a Daytona, and then I'd get an AP as a Grail. But I don't know if that's what I want to do. It's just so hard, man. I've got so many watches. I have to stop myself, honestly. I do like the Speedy. I really like the Whiteface Speedy that came out. I don't know, it's probably 2 or 3 years ago now. I do like that. They're coming down in price now. You can get them on the grey market, sort of around 7 or 8. This once more. Look at this RBS, which is built out for you in this grey zone. It's looking good. I think it's looking pretty good right now. And ES is starting to join the party. Let's have a look at the mag. Okay, I'll give you a readout in the mag. We haven't done that yet today. Tesla 0.75% up. Nvidia 0.15% down. So hanging out is PDC price. It's gone red to green. Sorry, it's gone green to red, red to green, green to red. Microsoft 0.13% down. Meta 0.08% down. No surprise there. Those are the weaker ones pre-market. Google 1.04% up. Amazon 0.62% up. Apple 0.69% up right now. what should your net worth be before getting a 6K watch? I don't know. That's each up to each of you, like what you're willing to spend. I am historically quite stingy with my own money on myself, not on other people, on myself. So I can tell you, when I was in the music industry, I always promised myself when I would do my first deal, I would get a watch. My first big deal was with Island Records, and it was a 3-single deal that became an album deal. I didn't get myself a watch. My second big deal was selling my record label to Sony. I still didn't get myself a watch. At the time, I was wearing like a TW Steel, which was probably like £200. My third big deal was I did a deal as a writer for Warner Chappell, and I had to force myself to get myself a watch, and that's when I bought my Planet Ocean chrono. And even then, like, it was punchy. It was 4,500 sterling, so I don't know, like $6,000. But I was like, I deserve this. I've always wanted a nice watch. I'm gonna buy myself a nice watch. Do I think this new all-time high is crazy? In what sense? I think given the macro environment, I would argue it's a bit mental. Yeah, given what's going on in the Middle East, given the inflation prints and stuff. You know, we haven't seen this. I've said it quite a while now. The market feels like a small cap. NQ feels like a small cap. We're heavily condensed into a very small part. The breadth got a bit better last week, but we're still condensed into semis. They will keep squeezing that and price it in until they get their exit. When their exit happens, I worry for the market. I think we might get a sell the news event. That sell the news event could be that the war's done. I mean, how many times are we going to price in the war's over? He must have said it over the last 60 days 100 times. We're very close to it being done. Okay, market rips. A deal's being done, market rips. They've agreed to the deal, market rips. It's like, how many times can we price it in? Apparently a lot. What happens when he goes, signed paper, the deal's done? Okay, how are we going to price in anything further? I just question, is there a sell the news event coming there? I'm not positioned for it, and I'm not going to position for it, but it makes me question it. That's all I'm saying. What was the craziest trading day you experienced where you just couldn't believe the price action move was happening? Honestly, it was probably the GME squeeze. That's probably the most crazy 48 hours I've ever seen. I was short the next day when they shut down Robinhood on people. I had a big trade that day. That's probably the craziest day of price action I've ever seen in the after hours. I even remember Ross Cameron trading his birthday and losing £1 million out of greed. And my dad's, I remember making £1 million that day, short and long. You took the long? What, on the GME are you talking about, or just this here, the RBS? It looks good, man. This is what I'd want to see. This is the same thing, failing to break lower, starting to hold this. They're trying to drift higher. All the time you're holding this, right? Longs have potential control. Under this, maybe you get a little pullback on the day. But right now, the drift higher is trying to take place. Again, 220s is your level. SOXL still not broken through it. Its high of day is 220 on the nose. Now you're starting to break through it. It's your first time poking through it. Can they hold a print above? And can they get going? And also, you'd be watching ES here. Can it get back above 550s? 550s, and you can start triggering a squeeze. There's some liquidity left at 551. Yeah, so just 550s, 551 break gets you up to 555 through that. If they really turn the boosters on today, you can go for the all-time highs on ES, but it's lagging. Look at the ES, it's lagging behind. You look great on the Qs, which is why we're long biased on the Qs. Here it goes. ES lagging behind, right? It's nowhere near where we are. We've taken all this out already, remember. Why? Again, because chips are so strong and they're so heavily weighted in the Qs. We are not going to fight them. If we've got relative strength, we're going to join. All right, congrats. If you just took this grey box, like I said, let it build out some liquidity. Again, that's another pretty decent trade, 50 points up here. Here's your next gamma level. 30s, and then after that 70s. Remember, the fibs are 150s, 250s, right? I've got to remind myself. I keep forgetting. Maybe I'm just going to have to put this in and leave it in. 150s, 250s, I think is the fibs. Okay, 120, 150, 250. 120, 150, 250 are your fib levels that you're looking for in extensions today if they get going. Appreciate the teaching and insights. Thanks for showing up every day. You're welcome. You're welcome. Alex, what do you teach in Discord? Well, I teach more in the course. Discord is, I do some lessons there, but it's more talking about what we're looking for each day, what the setups are. And there's lots of free indicators in there. We can talk about what we look for. We put the GEX levels in every morning, everything like that. All right, so today the first thing I was looking for was the dip to hold. There you go. It's the first pathing. Dip to hold this and go. First pathing is always the first thing I'm looking for. Dip, hold, build out, go. That's where we're at. We've just done that move. So then the question is now, do we see this or do we see a fail break and come inside and build liquidity out again? There's lots in Discord. We have swing levels. There's lots and lots and lots of stuff there, not just futures. What am I looking for in Oscar? I'm looking for to start to see, I mean, it went without me. It went without me, and I'm wanting to see it come back down and cool off. I certainly don't want to buy it right now with what I'm seeing. It's coming back down to the 20-day. Maybe if I get lucky. What gaps does it have? Big call wall at big level at 21, big put wall at 21 as well. So I really like, if I'm honest, I'd love it to come back down into 18s. Yeah, because by that time the 50-day and the 200-day will probably be there. So if it comes back into 18s, that would be nice. But if we start to find a bid around a bit above that at 20s, I'll consider it. But I'm going to need to see the rotation out of some of these market leaders, like with the market leaders we're talking about today, and a rotation back into energy and healthcare, back into the cheap stuff. We're not seeing that right now. We saw it last week for a bit when we consolidated. Now the money's gone back into the chip names. They're selling off the other sectors. We talked about this last week, right? So if you just go to FinViz or something like that, you'll see the sector rotation. Let me get it up. All right, we see the sector rotation. Last week, we saw a cooling off on this. All right, these are the semiconductors. Last week, these cooled off. These went sideways, and we saw a rotation into healthcare, into defensive. You remember, like Costco last week went absolutely bonkers for a week or so, and energy. This week, you're seeing what? Healthcare, red. Energy starting red. Defense, consumer defensive, red. And where's all the money? Here it is. So we last week rotated out of this into these. This week, we're rotating out of these back into this, right? It's a rotation. So I'm going to have to see a rotation out of this back into these areas for me to rebid them. I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't bid down here after talking about it, but there we go. Levels for NQ, 125, 150, 250 are your fib extensions. Your gamma levels right now are 30, 70, and 275. You're in squeeze level here, and you want ES to get back above this 550, which we're coming into now. We just talked about that 5 minutes ago. SOXL broke out over 220, came back in, held its dip. It's looking for 225 now. Where would I be in new money long now? If you didn't get any of these, you had 3 opportunities today. This. If you haven't got that, you're too late. You cannot be in new money long up here now. You're too late. It gave you 3 options. This, and this is gone. You need to let it go and build out some more structure now. You do not want to be long up here. You are absolutely asking for it. This thing can keep squeezing and you get paid, but it's a terrible buy. It is a terrible buy up here at this point. Alex has just passed Apex 50k with $5 over. That's my first eval passed. What's next? And thank you. Now you just wait, Dean. Wait till after the close tonight. Within an hour or two, normally after the close, they will email you, and you'll have to. I don't even know if you sign documents anymore. You used to sign documents, pay for it, that to become a PA, and it'll be available for you tomorrow. Here you go. So 70s next, then 120s, then 150s. Here we go. It's in a rush. This thing is in a rush. And there you go. ES through the 550s, taking out the liquidity at 551 now. Like I said, through this, it should come and visit 555. Right, 7555 is where ES should go to if we stay above these 51s. 51s is a sweep. We've got to stay above those. Thanks, Alex. I'm trying to buy where I shouldn't be buying. You want to buy where you shouldn't be buying? What? Why do you want to do that? Unless you're trying to lose money. I don't trade with FTMO, so I couldn't tell you what's good there. Average number of trades per day, Marcus, probably 3 to 5. Today it's 1. All depends on the setup. Is my subscription for Discord for a month? No, it's a one-time fee. I don't do any monthly subs. It's a one-time fee, and it's not for Discord. It's for the course and one of the indicators. Discord comes with it. All right, so buyers came in very aggressively. 44s definitely got a lot of buyers popped there. If this doesn't hold 27s or 30,000-ish, I'd be done with it now. It's a big, big squeeze out. Thanks, Top 40. Very kind. Oh, I think he means thanks for stocking and taking the trades. Okay. Did I see the new Ferrari? I have not seen the new Ferrari, I don't think. ES should be rejecting at 560. It's a supply zone. I don't think it will needs to come to 560 if it's going to reject. I would watch the bottom side of it. 7555, like we talked about. If you look at sort of the lows from Sunday into Monday, that sort of 555 level is pretty strong. If it gets to 560, I would say that it's probably gone inside the range. I can show you. I would be concerned if it gets to 560 if you're looking for a sell, because I would say this here, 55. So if you think about this, this is the level. If it's got to 560, then it's gone inside that, and it can hold dips there and do this move here. Right? If you don't see a rejection of 55s, then I think you're more liable to see a hold and a drive up. And honestly, I wouldn't be trying to fade a runaway train right now. Is it okay for intraday trial accounts where you can't give back too many points, but manually moving your stop is much better because you can utilize autoflow? Is it okay? Oh, you're talking to someone else. Sorry, my bad. Joe, just passed an eval. Let's go. Nice. It's crazy how it's ripping even with the Iran issue. I mean, if you just think about that from a macro point of view, if this is the most hated rally of all time, which it is, right? If this is the most hated rally of all time, if you see news events which look bearish from the outlook of let's just say that the airstrikes last night, common sense in your head would tell you that's bearish. Okay, so if you think about that and you go, okay, well, maybe some funds and big money starts taking puts or short positions on the market. And if, the chips say, hold my fucking beer, we're not done, then what happens? You get a squeeze, right? Like I said, there's no short until there's a short. And it won't be, for me, it won't be guessing a top. It will be when volume's caught. We simply don't have that. So There is no it's up too high. Believe me, this thing can go... The more people say it's up too high, the more this thing's going to fucking hurt them. It's going to keep going and going and going. What if I missed here? Someone just gifted. Was that a sticker? A flow state sticker. It looked cool. All right, remember 120 is where you're trying to go. So you're through the next Gex level. The only thing now is 120... 150, 250. That's what you're looking for upside. I wish I had taken the long I talked about for the second trade, but here we go. And ES starting to hold this bid around these 50s and 51s now. So 55s is the target on ES. Congrats, everyone. This is looking fantastic. Out of interest, is anyone still long from this play down here from the 850 break that we took? That was our first long. You are looking magnificent. What a magnificent long. Still in it. Nice, man. Very nice. Just close my runner, max my consistency for the day. There you go. Very nice. YM dumping. Yeah, we don't worry about that. Why is YM dumping? This is where, look, I'm going to teach you something. This is where newer traders don't understand because they've watched ICT or some bullshit and they go, YM's dumping, so it means NQ's going to dump. Okay. Why is YM dumping? Why is YM dumping? Does it have this in it? No. Does it have this in it? No. This? No. This? No. It doesn't. So if it doesn't have the strong sectors in it, does it fucking matter? That's like me saying, I don't know, trying to give you a good example here. I'm long Oscar Health, which is healthcare, and then I've looked across the board and I've seen Costco's dumping. Oh, well, Costco's dumping, so, you know, even though it's got nothing to do with healthcare, I better get out. No. No, 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 no. The ghost in the machine. Bollocks. Fucking nonsense. Absolute horseshite. SMT, bollocks, okay? Don't worry about it. We care about sectors which are affecting what we're in, not sectors which aren't affecting us. When I say no, 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 it reminds me of, what's that Ray Winston film? With Sir Ben Kingsley. Someone help me out. In Marbella, Ray Winston burning himself to pieces in his little yellow swimsuit. Some English person help me out here. Oh, I can't think what it's called. No, not layer cake. Definitely not layer cake. I'm gonna have to find it, aren't I? Gonna have to find it. Sexy Beast, that's it. Sexy Beast. When I say no, 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 no. If any of you've seen it, it reminds me of Sir Ben Kingsley in that film. What a film Sexy Beast is. If you haven't seen it, strongly advise you watch it. It's an old film now. Fantastic film. You said it? Oh, did I miss it? Sorry, my friend. No, 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 no. You can't. You what? Can't say that on YouTube. I'll get banned. All right, so 70s hit. I would just lock in profits along the way now and hold as long as you can. This is your over-under for the day. For me, there is, like, unless you're scalping shorts, which I really wouldn't advise you do, there is not, until you come under this and lose this, there's absolutely no short play. This is a slow drift higher kind of move right now. Everything's getting absorbed. You can see, look, it's quite clear what is happening. Zoom out. It's quite clear where we're going, what we're doing. No reason to be trying to sell this. Absolutely none. If you said it and I missed it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right, how are we doing on the likes, folks? Look at this. There was over 2,500 of you watching this morning. You all made like 100 to 200 points with me. You all bugger off stream. You don't even hit the like button. How rude is that? Costs you nothing and you can't hit like. Smash the thumbs up, please. We get to 1,000 likes, we give away an Apex account. We get to 1,200 likes, we give away something else. We give away, like, I don't know, introduction to trading and investing course. Yeah, IB now set. IB now set. Do I think we go back to value area high? Well, on the session, there's a very good chance. Yes, there's a very good chance we do some dances around here today. Very good chance. Especially if VWAP comes up into this. The longer we're up here, the VWAP would start coming up, and then maybe it gives us another return in. Very good chance we do that. If you're talking about from the previous day, no. I don't think we're coming down here today. It doesn't mean we don't later in the week. If we see like a big break and then we have a news event and we gap down, let's say we break up and we stay up here and then overnight there's a news event, or Wednesday or Thursday, and we gap down, then maybe. But until that point, no. We're in a gap and go scenario until it proves otherwise. Lee W, FCT, the most consistent 100-point winning streamer. I reckon I am. I actually reckon I am. I reckon certainly this year and the back end of last year, it's not because I'm a great trader. It's because what's happened in the news has given us the volatility to allow looking for 100 points. We won't always have that. I tell you now, guys, if I'm here in 4 years' time, fucking hope I'm not, but if I'm here in 4 years' time, we might go back to a normal market where we're going to have to look for 20 and 30 point trades. But at the moment, the volatility and the range is there to hit 100 points. So enjoy it while you can. It won't be there forever. Where would I go long again? Okay, I would, very similar to earlier, right? You'd be watching this here to see if they do some kind of trap. Certainly if they come down here and hold, all right? All the time they're protecting this, bulls are in control. It's as simple as that. So I'll be watching these sort of levels as we come back in. If we look at the order flow, where can we see? Right, the big buyers came in at 44s. Let's get you out there. Right, the big boy buyers right here, the breakout buyers, all the stops getting run, they came in at 44. So if dips hold 44s, fantastic. If they come deeper, you've got this low volume node here with an imbalance. So ideally a hold of 26s. Right, so 44s to 26s would be an area of interest for me. You'd need to see market come in. This is why I can't teach on here. It's fucking awful to teach on. All right, you'd need to see the market come in. It's so bad. Something like this, maybe a little wiggle. All right, and that would be maybe a long trigger back up. If you start to lose value area high or stay heavy there, then there's be a rotation deeper. See why I can't teach on there? It's great software for trading, horrendous software for teaching on. So somewhere in here, basically I'll be looking for the market to do this. In here, you'd want to see sellers get caught. You want to see buyers move up, support the bid, and then go for more. But remember, low-hanging fruits have gone. We're just in price discovery now. We are in price discovery. And this also, right, is not just a level for today. If you zoom out, it's from Sunday, Monday, right? So any retest of that, what's this? Resistance becomes support. So if we come back to this, which we've already held once, if you get lucky and they come back to it and they bid, it's a good level. It's a structural level. Might be that they don't come back for it. I mean, look, it really might be that they're just up and away. Tens, remember, tens was the dip today to hold tens. Sorry, I got it wrong by 11 cents. 10s to 20s, breakout, pullback, hold, 25s is the next level. There's actually nothing above. I mean, this can actually be quite disgusting if it starts to go. Let's just have a look at some of the stocks, where they're at. I mean, to give you an idea of what's going on right now. Oh my God, imagine you bought this in the April dip last year. 62s to 800s and almost 900s. I mean, Fucking hell, I wish I'd loaded the boat more on some of these. Just a casual 1,300%. INTC is the big winner because that's been fucked for so long. Nice breakout there. AMD. I am long in this, and I am up huge in this right now, but I've hardly got any size left. Where did I get long? I think 180s, was it? Somewhere around here. I'm up 200% now. It's bonkers, man. It's bonkers. Can't fight these names. All right, so remember 120s, 150s, 250s for those of you who are long. The squeeze is on. The squeeze is on. Let me have a look at my AMD. Let me see where I'm at. Login. I should be up around 200% now. 204%. Here we go, folks. So this is the swing long. I think I took it last August or something. Still in it. Small size left. 204%. I don't think I've ever hit a swing in common stock of 200% of a large cap. Of a large cap. Small cap, sure. Of a large cap, I don't think I've ever hit it. It's bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers how much we're up on that right now. Guys, the small penny stock, that we took swing long last week. Hello. All right. Looking really good there, team. We are looking really good. All those swings are paying. The only ones which are a little bit hurt right now is you. But given I don't even mind that as like a hedge, given that rest of the portfolio is big green. A few AMD leaps, yeah. I think Coop's in some AMD leaps. I don't know if he held some, but he took AMD leaps with me when I got swing long. So he might still have them. He might very well still have them. ASTS, yeah. This is moving with all the space stuff. You want targets or what you're looking for? I mean, your first target is all-time highs. I'm assuming that's all-time highs. We go for a weekly. Yeah, you look great. I mean, you can trim some here if you really want. I don't know where you're long from. And if you're looking for extensions, if you're swing extensions, you're looking for 165, 173, 200s. I mean, it can keep going, mate. It's in a bullish trend. That's a gap and go again. I'd watch all-time highs. Hopefully, you know, you see a break and then a consolidation and then go again. It looks great. Looks really good. You know, top pickers today, they're getting destroyed, aren't they? It's up too high. It ain't. It don't care what you think. It's not even. Do you remember at the start of the show and in the here it goes. Here we talked about it's got room to the top Bollinger Band. We didn't have room before, right? Just think about this. We didn't have room, so we needed to consolidate. Sellers now caught. Now we have room. Okay, it's just so simple, guys. Like, do not ever get in that mentality of it's up too high. I'll tell you a little secret. All right, someone in my family who is not a trader said to me at the weekend, "It's ridiculous. It's going to come down. It has to do this. It's up too high. Blah blah blah." That is the biggest long trigger for me I've ever heard. All right. The moment retail, who are notoriously bullish on everything always, start saying it's up too high, makes me think we're going higher. Right. Because if they want to start taking short positions, that's the worst thing that they can do. TPs on Nasdaq, like I've said, 120, 150. 250. All right, you're starting to come into them. Look, we just failed in front of 120s. All right, just do. Oh no, what have I done here? Wrong chart. 1H. All right, just fib it out, guys. Learn how to do this. Swing high, swing low. 120, 150, 250. You can just call it. All right. Very, very simple. You've hit TP here. If they get any more, you get the 161, 150. If you get more, you get full measured move. All right. That might take some time to. It might not be today, or it might need to do this before it does that. Right. And it might need to retest neutral point before it goes. It might not, but it might. It might need to do this before it hits this target. But you are into TP levels here. We've talked about them many, many, many times. Right. There's the build out. There's the extension. You've now hit 50% of this, right? Think about this as a 100% block, right? You've hit 50% of it in the midway, right? And if you hit 100%, it'd be here. And if you just do the fib, it won't be 150. So 120, 150, 250. Very, very simple. Do not overcomplicate it. How does the fib get to the tick? It's just a psychology, right? If everyone, all the market is psychology. It's all the market is. So if we're in price discovery, what levels can we look at? Fibs, measured moves, top Bollinger Bands, things like that. So if everyone with any common sense is looking at those levels, then we take some profit into those levels. So if you've got 100% of the population and 80% of the population looking at those levels, and 80% of the population take some profit, psychologically they're like, I'll take some profit at 120, then we get a minor reaction from it. All right. And if we break through 120, where are we going to go? 150, because that's the level we're all looking at. And if we get through that, we're going to go 250, because that's the level we're looking at. And if they put some more GEX levels in, which they haven't yet, then there we go. We've got a new one, 275. Then we can look at that. Right, it's just psychology. When I do the swing high, do I do it from the beginning of the New York session? No. For that move we just did, it's the consolidation zone. All right, if we go to a 15-minute, where was the high? All right, if we're thinking about the consolidation, it's this. This was the previous high to this. Forget this, all right? Imagine this hadn't happened. Imagine we were still here, all right? Imagine the price was still here. We want to measure out from here to here to give this projection up. We don't care about this. It's happening now, right? We could have done this at this point. I probably did do it at the open. I can't remember. So we measured this zone here, right? And this gives us our projections. This is our bullish consolidation. Right? Sell side of the curve, there's your bull flag. Buy side of the curve, we go up, right? Where are our targets? Here, 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 because that's projection of this. We can't project off this. What we could do, if it comes back down into here, is we could run a fib from here to here. We could even do a fib from here to here to here, an extension fib. We can do that as well. But at the moment, we're just worried about these levels. That's all we're worried about. And I will not be shorting those levels. Just because they're levels to take profit does not mean that areas to short, you don't have any buyers stuck yet. Coming back down towards this initial balance, this purple line on your screen. So we've got two builds out of liquidities here. Here. And here, buyers are still in control. That's a flat top. That auction at the high doesn't look particularly good. But you could argue if buyers lose this and come to here, I would not take a scalp short under there. But if they do this, all right, maybe there's a rotation. If you're absolutely adamant on being a seller today, but I personally would try and avoid that. But to each their own, as they say. What contract size are you trading for 50k proper count? I would trade 2 to 3 micros, my friend. Maybe you don't want to do that on evals if you're very, very aggressive or whatever, but 2 to 3 micros in this market environment is enough. If you got 100 points this morning with 2 micros, that's $400. If you got it 3 micros, that's $600. That is more than enough right now, given the ATR. If you are trading 2 to 3 or even 1 mini on these 50k accounts, you're probably going to get blown until you've built out a buffer. Is there a fib tool you use, mine doesn't have the same scaling. You will need to add it in. So if I draw a fib, all right, let's just say I've just drawn a fib here for this extension. Okay, if you double click on it, you'll need to add it in. It's the same with NinjaTrader. I don't know about other stuff, but you can just manually add stuff in. So I have negative and positive, so I don't need to like redraw it. So you see I have negative levels and positive levels in case we break out to the negative side. You just add them all in. When will the indicator be ready? I don't know. Like, it's ready. It's not me dragging my feet at the moment. It's NinjaTrader. So I've filled in all the forms. I've chased last week. They've said they've seen it all. I'm waiting. You know, probably the bank holiday didn't help either. Hopefully soon. I would have liked it out last week, but I can't. You know, they're very busy people. As soon as they're done. So still they're basing out here. Low volume node supporting the bid here again still. And they still want more by the looks of it. So 120 breakout will get you 150. You can see all the liquidity they're adding above. 150 on the deck, all the way up to 160 right now. Buyers right now are down at 75, so 90s to 75s. This ledge here. So buyers are hanging out here, hoping that they get filled down there at the moment for the push back up. ES trying to hold its IB high, SPY the same, Q's the same, SOXL the same. I don't know. I've got no levels for SOXL. I guess we could draw some out. It's probably due a pullback soon, as in like an intraday pullback. Jeez, man. What a fucking shove. Holy moly. Yeah, I mean, look, there you go. It's into the fib. Same as we've just done for NQ, so 250 next. So if it holds a bid above 226s, which is a 161, 250 is the target. Exactly the same, right? It's the same model each time. It is due a pullback though. Maybe a 220 retest at some point. What does the new indicator show? The new indicator is an order flow tool. So it shows current book. It shows volume profile, delta profile, aggressive lot sizes, cumulative delta, big lots. Oh, that's nice of you. Thank you, my friend. Very, very kind. I'll get coffee later with that. All right, back to the initial balance. Remember, this is the level. So buyers have failed this top zone. This is the next level. I would say if you start losing this bid, then you can think about a scalp short. If you're absolute adamant, it's a very risky trade, I would say, in this environment. But if they do sell SOXL back down to 220s, you'd have to get under this. I'd be very careful of a trap living in here. I'd be very, very careful. But if you're adamant on taking the short from the IB or maybe underneath would be better, you want to be locking in profits and you do not want to be oversized. This would be a counter trend pullback move, which they would then probably try and absorb again. Close all longs? No, not necessarily close all longs. If you start to lose all this, you can close your longs. But I mean, you hit. We talked about 120 being a target, right? You hit 118.75. You need a pullback. Look, you need a pullback. It's very possible that this comes back in if they start to lose these shelves. It's a big if, right? But if they lose this, we can see that coming back into here. Right, and then maybe they try and bid out of it again. But I mean, if you were long here or here or here, you should have paid yourself something. It doesn't mean it's done. I mean, we can do sort of this move here. I don't know. I can't predict. I can only say what's happening in front of me. But what I do know is if they lose these, unless they trap underneath and quickly recover, then this becomes a viable move back down into here, because this is a strong move. This would still just be a pullback, wouldn't it? If we came into there, I'm guessing it's like 50% fib. Yeah, 50% fib if we came back in. If, big if. Big if. All right, I'm not going to change Bookmap here. It's forgotten everything. Recenter to last price. Well, why aren't you doing it then? All right, so your IB and this shelf here now important. I can draw these out for you if it's going to help you guys. All right, these are your little micro shells. These are low volume intraday shells. These are not, well, they're high volume, but they're not, what I'm saying is they're not big volume shells from previous sessions. All right, so these are the battle zones now. ES is stuck. Well, where did it get stuck at? What was the target I gave you this morning if you were long on ES? 55s, right? Oh. Why? Oh, that's why. What are the lows of this? Right, so that's a return. So I'd be locking in profit there. Someone said 65s, and I said if it goes 60 or 60s, it's too high, right? Because it's the midpoint of that, and then it can hold pullbacks to 55 and go. That would be a long trigger. If it hits 60 and pulls back to 55, it's a long trigger because it means we're back inside the box. But at the moment, from here to here is an obvious trade. Lock some profit in. If they do this, great. If they reject this back down, here's what it is. You've locked your money in. Three trades, 250-point wins, and 1 20-point loss for me so far. I mean, that is how you want to trade. Perfect. That's an entire week's goal. Yeah, I mean, it's been a good Monday. Please, would you chart Tempest AI? Give me the ticker. How does the auction at the top look? There's a few buyers caught up there at 11s, but it's not like huge. You can see we're struggling to get back inside this top grey box. So we can battle out here. For me, all right, if they sell this, I wouldn't touch it. All right, for me, I think you need to sell under this. If you reject this and sell under this, maybe you get a wash. But again, this area here can be a trap zone because you're bullish overall. Trying to sell this is very, very tough. If you don't want to sell it, I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to sell this. I'd just wait for it to come back in. Just wait for it to come back in and make a decision. DRAM, well, DRAM's pumping. All these ones are, I'm sure, are still pumping. Why can't I find it? I mean, what do you want to know? It's the same as SOXL. It's exactly the same. Just showing you what to do. 61, 62, 66. That's your target right now if you're swing long. That's it. Nothing else to worry about. All right, I'm not looking at any more individual names, folks. We're trading this. We'll have a look at some of them later towards the end of the show. But, you know how to look at them. I've taught you enough. Otherwise, join the Discord. Learn how to trade. Okay, starting to vacate this grey box. So if they stay heavy versus this grey box, there's potentially a wash down towards 30,000s. But I will warn you, a trap can live in this low volume node. I'll warn you now. Absolutely can live in that low volume node. It's not grumpy. It's that it's not my job to sit here and do everything for you. It's nothing to do with being grumpy, right? It's that we're trading the NQ and you're asking me to give my financial advice and advice on charting something that you are involved in. If you're involved in it, I would say it's probably important that you know how to trade it, right? That you know what your targets are. So we'll see if you vacate this grey box or not. Like I said, I would be very concerned that a trap lives anywhere from here to 30,000. So if you're going to take this short, it makes sense, but you better be very aggressive with your stop. Do not give it a lot of room if you're looking for this short out of these grey boxes down into here. Any recovery of these grey boxes, you will get yourself in trouble. How was the weekend? It was good. I mean, I'm still recovering from that flu. But yeah, I did some shopping, watched the F1 with some mates, celebrated Arsenal's win with my flu in front of the TV. What else did we do? Went out for a few lunches and dinners with my wife, walked the dog, sat by the pool with a mate, chilled out. Nothing major, just relaxed. I haven't been well enough. Okay, so grey box here. Absolutely key. Do they sell this or is there a recovery of this? You'd be watching them to see if they're willing to sell VPOC here, which is 77s, which they're trying to at the moment. If they sell this, they're going to try and get down to what I'd watch 45s and then 30,000 if you are short on this. Any recovery of initial balance, you want to leave it alone. If you're adamant on being a seller today, if they recover initial balance, you want to leave it alone. Lots of bids here, 60 all the way down to 30,000. Let's see if they get it. So nice rejection again. You need to see an extension now and follow through. It's now or never really for these sellers to get a wash. It's looking a little bit better. Again, any recovery of IB, it can happen very quickly if SOXL finds a bid. I would say any recovery you want to like leave. You're targeting short side 45 and then 30,000. That's where you're targeting 30,000, 45 and then 30,000. Do not get too aggressive too late. You will absolutely regret it because you are counter trend here. You're trying to play the counter trend down into these nodes if you get lucky. So if you're trading this, I'm not trading this. I think it's very high risk, but you would need this to reject to get you down into 45s. The reason I'm saying 45s is because where there is a big lot of delta and then here. So these are the targets for you on your short if you're taking this. All right, and then we can think about longs if and when we get down there and what happens next. And you do not want it above this node. This is where your stop must be, that IB high in this node. If you're taking a short from here to here, your stop must be up here. You do not risk above that. A squeeze will be set above that. I won't hit the buy or sell button. No, I mean, I'm not trading counter trend shorts. I'll hit the buy button today. I've already hit the buy button. I will hit the buy button today. I won't be hitting the short button. Personally, I'm not looking for the counter trend short inside. It's the hardest trade to take. I don't really want to trade that in a day where we're just lifting and lifting and lifting. But some of you might have missed everything and you're adamant to be a seller. This is your first opportunity where the market might give a sell. But like I've said numerous times, if I was a bull, I'd be hanging out in here if I was a market making bull, right, in the low volume node. But I would target, I'd tell you, 45s and 30,000s. Here you come. So you're going to come to the 45s. Why am I saying this? Because where the big volume stepped in. See this big player? This is where they're trying to test to see if this is going to be protected. 45s. They're trying to get you a flush down here. So I'd be moving my stop break even now. Right? So you're starting to see a little rejection. You need to stay heavy from 67s to 80s to get to 45s. Underneath 45s and 40s, you open up this move down here to 30,000. Right? So this is the higher time frame pullback starting now. So your TP1 is around 45. So if you want to take it early at 50 at the whole number, it's also fine. So they're coming for these 45s by the look of it. You're going to get TP1 soon, hopefully. There are buyers on the tape here from 50 down to 30,000. So they are going to try and bid in that area that I talked about. Do not be oversized here on a counter trend short. You will regret it if you're late or oversized. Was that the new indicator? It was, yes. Thousands and thousands of lots are getting stuffed. I mean, not for me. I don't see thousands of lots going through on NQ. I don't know, maybe you're watching ES, but no. Like, we're coming back down. We can look at Bookmap. We're coming back down into the level of interest. Certainly not seeing thousands and thousands of lots. We're coming back down towards 45s, and if we lose 45s, 30,000s, and then it will make a decision. I mean, this is a high time frame pullback. Just think, there's the trend. Here's the pullback down towards 50%. So 45's coming up. So it's your TP1. You can see the buyers are hanging out from 45 to 30,000. We lose 30,000, we can have like a new conversation, right, about RBS not holding and stuff. But right now, you're coming into these key levels. Sellers getting aggressive here. These are the levels where I'd be paying myself. If I was short, I'd be paying myself some of the money into this level. So maybe you pay 50, 60% into 45. Maybe you pay another 20% into 30,000. And maybe you wait at that point. So 45 is now tagged. So maybe you pay, if you took the short from here, from 70s or whatever, pay yourself some money here. Wait to see if you can come in down into this sort of 30,009. Where is the big buyer? 30,000 and 29,997. You have an imbalance here at 31s, right? So you need to get under 28s. Under 28s, you should get 30,000 then for your next chunk of change for the short. And then you want to wait, because if they find a bid there, the market will start to lift from that point. Out of the short, 1,500 on it. Nice work, mate. Nice work. So 45s, you're now slipping 45s. You, like I said, you have an imbalance here. There is an imbalance here. This buyer can be caught if you stay heavy at 45s. So if we can slide further, then you can look for this move into the 30,000, and you want to be covering a good chunk here and then here, and then you can hold runners to see if they really want to get heavy under 30,000. Which would indicate a failed breakout above Monday's highs if we do that. But we can think about that as and when, and not before. For me, this is a high time frame pullback right now. It's nothing more than that right now. Think about the day. If I just zoom out as well. All right, we hit the fib, remember? 1.5 of the measured move. We said we might need to come back. Remember when I drew this out? 1.5 of the measured move is up here, and I said it might need to come back for here if it's going to do a 100% move. Well, let's see if it comes back or not. Certainly wouldn't get too short biased on this, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's just a pullback. It's a pullback leg. How do I know the buyer is stuck? Well, look, it could have been a stop. It could have been a buyer that's stopped out, a seller that stopped out there. But all I know is the delta at that level is very, very aggressive. And if we get below him, he might be in pain. But you can see we're reacting around this area that we just talked about. Look, it's where he was. This is where we're reacting, and he came back in again. Another 100 lot. Got aggressive there. around this area. So it's a sensitive area. We still can come down to this if we stay heavy. 30,000 still possible here if we stay heavy. But this is it's a big area here for them to make a decision, because we know buyers have enjoyed this area earlier in the day. But if pops start to fail here, 30,000's on deck. If they start to accumulate here and grind back up and they get back above the 30,080, then I would say new hive day is going to come. So it's decision time for the market. The moment you look okay with the shorts, and you should have paid yourself some already, right? You see, these buyers are trying to protect these sort of 45 areas right now. You might need a move to 30,000 first, but we'll just see. As long as you paid yourself some on the short, you can hold some to see if you can get 30,000 and pay yourself some more then, and just hold in case you get a failed breakout, because if they fail 30,000, it will be a failed breakout, won't it? It will be a move where we've moved above 30,000 and below it, which will be, I think we put it on Discord this morning. Right, so you move your stop down now and protect 45s. Right, so if you're short from here risking IB, you can now try and protect this shelf and see if you can get into 30,000 and 10 down to 30,000, this grey box. Makes sense? First time I told you to short today, right? I didn't tell you on any of this. No, 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 no. Why? Volume for the first time today is caught at the highs. So we can lean on that volume, can lean on late buyers to try and get this move to here. So you've paid some here, you're paying some here. It may very well do this. If they lose this, we can talk about a collapse if they lose it. I'm not going to talk about that as a position yet until we see that. But we did, that would be this move here, right? It would be a failed break and a move back under 30,000 and a wash back down. We can talk about this once we get there and it sets up. Hopefully this is all making sense to you so you can understand when to lean on people and when not to. Yeah, I'm on the mend. I'm not fully better, but I'm on the mend. I'm definitely on the mend. Right, so through this imbalance, we're going to try and accelerate down to 30,000. You want to pay yourself some to 30,000 and then just hold some runners to see if they give this up. All right, if they give this up. Previous day high was 94s. All right, if they don't find a bid around here, around this grey box, your runners might really start working for you today. But this is the level. This is the level. All right, covering some here, please, if you were short in this. So you've hit both your main targets. You should have 20% left, 25% left tops. No more than that, because it's counter trend until it proves otherwise. All right, so hopefully this has made sense to you guys. There's the reaction of 30,000. Right, and they're going to come and test this node here, 36 to 45s, where the buyer's stuck. So if they don't sell that, then you will see it start to squeeze back up, because this is a higher time frame pullback into a key level. We've literally just gone over all of it. So if they don't sell this node here, you will see a squeeze back up towards VPOC and IB. So sellers need to step in here, otherwise they're going to get themselves in trouble. Simples, right? That's why you learn to take profits. Do not expect too much on a counter trend short. So you might have 20%, 25% runners now only, and I would say if it starts to break above this, you just cut that runner and you've locked in really good money. What are the levels to start taking longs again? Well, we're coming into the levels. It's more about what we see structurally. Right, it's a good sell here. What I would like to see for longs again would be something like this, right? Some sort of like turnaround of curve, right? I'm not going to long just because we're coming down into it. I need to see sellers get stuck into these areas, or maybe if we don't come down any further, maybe a turnaround of the curve. But this is much harder now to think about a long, this because now we have bulls caught above and now we're inside the IB. It's a harder long now. The easier long was this move up into price discovery, but we'll see. We'll just see how it sets up. You guys should be 80% odd out of your short position and just holding runners now. New trader here. What's a good profit goal for a 50k eval account? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Profit goal over what? Per day? Per trade? I don't know how you trade. I don't know what your sizing is. I don't know what you're looking for. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, mate. I don't know if you're a base hitter or you're trying to like play positions. I don't know if it's a 1 day pass, 5 day pass, 2 day pass. They're trying to hold the 30s now. There is a buyer that's moved from 30,000 to 30,030 at the moment. I don't think they're done with it yet. Here come the sellers. I'm going to retest these lows. There's still liquidity lower. So that 45 is still protected up here. So your shorts are still holding. There's no structural change right now. But certainly what you would not want to break above this pivot now at 45s. So your short was from, I don't know, 80s and 70s. You've covered some into, what do we say, 45s. You covered some into 30,000. You don't want to break above 45s now. Because if they base out here and break above, you're going to be very upset. Hopefully they break lower for you guys. There is lots of liquidity now down at 30,000 and down at 980. So that I think you've got a good chance to break lower here for your runners. And you can just start moving stops down. If you get a break below 30,000, you can start moving your stops down to protect. Seller coming in here, 100 lot. He might get himself caught here, I think. It's a big seller here of 100 lot. Just smashed the tape at 18s or 17s. Think he might get himself caught here. You might see a 30,000 flush here come in. We'll see. Feels like it to me. I don't know why he would sell that so aggressively there, but we'll see. He's trying to protect the 20s. All this liquidity into 30,000 probably gets swiped. It's got very thin here. A load of guys just pulled their orders. You gonna wake up, sellers, on the book or not? No wake up. SOXL holding the 220 print, by the way. You want to be careful there. That was our level earlier this morning. If you're short, do not let this come back above that shelf around 45s. That needs to be out here. And ideally, they flush down to 30,000, give you some follow through. ES letting go of both of its VWAPs now. So big divergence. SOXL finding a bid off 220, which is an RBS zone, which is basically our 30,000 zone. And it's also a cool wall. ES looks very weak here by my comparison. Might come down to its New York Open. We'll see. Do they bleed NQ and chips for you guys who are short with the ES or not? It's not a long for me yet, that's for sure. Not yet. Starting to see these sellers get a little caught down here, but we haven't triggered anything yet. I'm not convinced yet that they're finished with it. Not seeing a big enough reaction. SOXL is holding 220s very well, though, I will say that. And these sellers are starting to lift higher, not put pressure down. I'd be careful here. If they don't come flying in soon, there might be a little micro squeeze back up here because they are starting to juggle higher. They're adding liquidity at 65s and 70s now. So if you're a short seller, that's the opposite of what you want to see. You want to see them protect 45s, not 65s and 70s, because that would be a lift through that node. Here comes the test of towards the 45s here. I'm telling you, I'd be very careful here as a short seller because they're adding liquidity higher, trying to drag this up. And XOXL just found a bid at 220s on us RBS and can come right back up to 24s and 25s here. My out would be here if I was you. If we lift above the sort of 45s and 50s, you want to get out. If they protect 45s, 50s, you're okay. But I'd be very, very careful on a squeeze above. Very, very careful on a squeeze above. So protecting 45 so far. Buyers coming in at 20s. Now you need a big seller to just come and swipe under 30,000 for you. That's how you're going to get comfortable. Because there's been quite a significant amount of build up here now. Big buyer just came in there at 27s. Hopefully this can break lower for you guys who are short. Again, I wouldn't be buying this yet. I think they're just going to build out liquidity. So I'd just be managing 20% of my position if I was you guys from that original short with my stop at 45 and 50s, looking to see if you can break 30,000 to get your runner to go. You're going to need 220s to let go on SOXL. That's going to be a really good indication for you guys if you can get that. Here come the sellers. They're trying to step on the gas here. Big levels. Here you go. 30,000 tests coming up. 220 tests coming up, SOXL. It's all lining up together. Can you get follow through under this? Can you get that last 20% to go for you? Will it be a failed breakout of 30,000? Or do they just absorb this and we're going back towards the highs? I'm surprised they haven't filled this 120 lot down at 30,000. They've added lots of liquidity. Somewhat surprised. Big seller coming in here. Be very careful. If they absorb this, how big was he? He's a big boy. 184 lot just slammed the tape at 10s. 220 test again here on SOXL. So I'd just be managing your short positions. Do not add anything to this. Just manage it. Hopefully you get the 30,000 break for you guys for that last 20%. If you don't, you take it off. And we'll think about the longs as and when they've finished building all the liquidity out. Where's my volume profile anchored to? To the 930 open. All right, here comes the 30,000s. So 120 lot to be filled here at 30,000. You have a little imbalance down here. Previous day highs, 94s. You should just have 20, 25% left. If you get the break under here, you can target 950s, which is value area low. 930s, 950s. So you could target 70s and then 50s. Here's the 30,000, still 120 lot here to be filled. He's now filled. Nice follow through. SOXL letting go of 120. It needs to take out this pivot though. So this is previous day high from Monday. This is VWAP. These are like the points where it's going to get wiggly now. Again, volume profiles anchored to the 930 print. I've said it. It's literally written above your question, which is quite funny. There's the reaction of VPOC of previous day high. This is the 30,000 range. So again, you're managing runners down here. There's big selling down here. Look at these guys. They got very aggressive down here. So your extension now would be 80s and 50s for you guys who are short. I haven't seen enough to want to long yet. 220s is your level, SOXL as well. We've talked about it. ES finding a bid right off its New York Open. Came and tapped New York Open, found a bid there. We get under that, then every bull from this morning will be in pressure. I would say those sellers from 307 to 95s are going to start feeling the heat soon. They're going to start feeling the heat soon if this starts printing. So you're in a rotation, basically 50 to 30,000, 50-point rotation. That's the level here. Grey box into where this buyer was caught. Here. these trap sellers at the lows who just got very aggressive versus this buyer here, right? This is the ping pong. This to this, this to this. This is where they're going to build the liquidity out now. Sorry. I won't stop coughing. Structure's still bearish, lower time frame, still bullish, higher time frame. I would watch this now into 07s because that's where these sellers started to get aggressive. 07s to the lows. Do they let them out? You need a new breakdown here to let these sellers out. If you don't let these sellers out, they'll start to get stuck. This is their level right here. They're selling more here. So they need a breakdown now. And then you'll fill down to a value area low on the day if you get the breakdown under VWAP. But this is the level. You can see they've all piled up here. It's a big level. 30,000 still holding. Under 30,000, I think you go 75s. And then what's this down here? 30s. Let's check my one. 50s. I'd watch 50s now. I'd watch 80s and 50s for continuation underneath if you see it. Here it comes. You need the previous day high to let go. You need basically a clean break under 30 and a breakaway to fill these guys from 90 down to 50s. Here it comes. So your runners might get paid here. Your 25% might get paid here for the rotation. ES right at New York Open. SOXL under 220. SOXL needs to find an auction under 219. Needs to sell under 219 now. Because they are faffing around. Remember, you're just at the area where these where these sellers keep selling. Right here. You need a break away from this to let them out. You need a new low under this down to here to let them out. And then they'll be all in the money. Here it comes. There's the new low. Can they accelerate away from this? No, buyers still stepping in here. This is the wiggle. So if they hold this and they catch a bid now back over 10s, I would say they can revisit right back up to 45s if they hold a bid over 10s. Again, it's not a buy yet. They are still building out liquidity. You should just be managing your short position, if anything. Protecting 10s. They're going to make this... they're going to punish impatient traders, I think. It's not a buy yet. Certainly not a buy yet. You're not seeing any shift. Remember, this is the RBS zone. This is where I'd be covering, right? You can hold runners. This is the pullback into the RBS zone. If you find acceptance under there, it can get fun for you guys who are short from here. I want to see this if I'm going to buy back or some form of turn. Again, we've hit the low-hanging fruits for the day. We made our money very early in the day. We just wait now to see how low this goes, and then if they offer a rebid or if they start to get stuck under this, we can think about failed breaks on dailies, which would be a return to range. Yes, right, that New York Open. Key levels here. Right, 219 letting go. So you might see some follow through here versus 219 on SOXL. And maybe you can get value area low down here if you get very, very lucky. But I'd be watching each of these nodes. Seller getting absorbed there into 95s. Definite seller getting absorbed there into 95s. It's the first time I've seen that. There you go. There's the shove back up from it. That's the first time I've seen some decent absorption at the lows under that. And all these sellers are hold above 10s. If I was a seller down there and they held above 10s, I'd start to get concerned because there's a huge amount of sell side activity that took place from 7s down to 92s. Holding 10. So imbalance here above. And if they break this, they're going to probably visit 40s, 45s again. Still not a buy for me. We're seeing absorption, but we're not seeing a breakaway from it. You're starting to see it flatten out and build liquidity now. You can see it starting to flatten out. It's not a buy yet, but I'd be concerned as a seller at this point. The reason I'm saying that is it's had numerous attempts to break under these sellers. These sellers are going to start causing you problems, and this is the absorption at the lows under VPOC. And these sellers, if they remain trapped, will start to cover and cause a squeeze up to 45s, and through that, a squeeze up to 80s. Right, so these are the sellers who I'd be concerned about right now. They've got themselves a little bit caught here, selling the lows into the RBS zone. You don't want to sell into an RBS zone, do you? You don't want to be in new money like these guys selling these lows. It's stupid. All right, if you're going to sell that, you need to see a rejection underneath it. And you're not seeing that. You're starting to see it flatten, build out, and if they start holding the print, this will happen. If they lose the print, this will happen. If they trap, they'll do this, which is what I'd really like. So I'm greedy. More sellers there getting caught at 20s. I think you're going to see a 45 print very, very soon. These sellers might have got themselves caught here. 220 is going to be key on SOXL, as is value for the week. All right, there's the blow off. 220s. Not accepting under. If they hold this, we'll come back to here. If they lose this, that's where you'll still see real weakness under that. And I think at the moment it's not too bad. It's getting sensitive though. You can see these areas very sensitive. Remember the size of the move. Remember where we closed Friday. It's a big move, folks. It's a really big move. They can afford to come back in if they want. Still waiting for this next trade. All right, back to 30,000. Remember, these sellers need it lower or they're going to get caught. They've just sold that last shove up as well into the 20s. SOXL 220 still holding there or thereabouts. It's starting to get wiggly here on the tape. There's a big decision. ES under New York Open. ES can come right back down to IB on relative weakness here. Amazon selling off 1% down, Meta 0.5% down, Microsoft 0.65% down, Nvidia now red on the day, 1/3% down. It's in the RBS area, yeah, it is. I mean, it's there or thereabouts, isn't it? But I'm not going to buy because we're in an area. I need to see a reaction. We are starting to see some sellers down there, which is good, but we've not seen a reaction away. Right, we've not seen an aggressive move away where we go, okay, they're completely stuck, and then a pullback hold. Not like, if you think about the start of the day, not like this. Look at the aggression that came on the 50 break, right? Big move away, right? Very aggressive move away. We're not seeing that at the moment. We're seeing like this. It's the same kind of play. We're just seeing it build out here. Right, it's starting to flatten. It's not a buy and it's not a sell. It's a sell from here, like we talked about, and it's covering, and you can hold 20%. It's not, in my mind, it's not a buy yet. At 30,000 is a big level. Both sides are stuck there. This is brutal. Why is it brutal? The only thing you should be in it right now is a short from the 80s with 20% left. There's nothing else to do right now. It's just wait. Whole city, crazy, man. You got to feel, I actually feel for Wrexham. I never thought they'd get even anywhere near as close as they did, but to see that happen, it's got to be painful for them. Okay, here we go. There's the extension. So value area low now, you can target for the runners, 60s, PDC. So I'll be targeting 60s now. Here's the RBS zone. SOXL rejecting those 220s, new low on this little pivot, sub 19s. Still seeing some buyers show up here trying to absorb. I'd be very careful here. Be very careful here. Zoom out of the H1. It's pulled back. It's done that move now. I mean, there's an argument for it to come right down to 930s, but it does not have to come right down here. It can, but it does not have to. We know the overall move is up right now. That's why we were bullish this morning. It's why we didn't buy the top. It's why we were short from the 80s, 70s and 80s, and you just wait for this to stop selling if you're not already short on it and you're waiting for the long. Am I in shorts? No, like I said, I called the shorts for you guys from here. These were the sells. Right down into these. You're runners only now to seeing if you get this. If you lose acceptance under 30,000, there's an interesting argument for it to rotate, I'd say, from 30,000 down to 900s, based on what we did yesterday. Right, so we can rotate. If they can't hold the print above. So this is the pullback. Think about this. We hit the target. 20s was the target. We're pulling back to this RBS zone. If they lose this RBS zone, they can come deeper into here and rebalance and do this again here. All right, and the longer they do that, the worse it's going to be for the bulls, because we can see a backside move out of that. It doesn't have to be today. So I'm just patient right now. Like, don't want to be jumping a gun. I know this is a very, very interesting level. I think bulls will turn up. There's absorption down there again, sub 30,000. Again, the big sellers came in at 10s. 10s down to 30,000. If you start to print above that and hold, those sellers are going to get upset. This is quite a big absorption candle at the moment. How long we got left? 2 minutes left on this 5 minutes. We'll wait and see how this closes. But it's strong selling 90s down to 70s, and without seeing continuation yet on the 5 minute, can still come. QQQ finding a bid on VWAP right now. Spiders weak underneath everything right now. 220 remains the level in my mind on the Soxal. Is it too late to sell? Absolutely, it's way too late to sell. The sell was here against the trap volume. Certainly don't want to be selling an RBS zone, do you? Certainly don't want to be selling an RBS zone. You'd need a very strong move under it and a very strong build out. The only way you could sell this zone here, right? If we chop like this for a while, fucking hell. Let's say we chop like this for a while and we do this and we do a strong sell and we come back to here, then you could think about selling that, using this as a failed breakout on a daily, but otherwise, no. You do not want to sell this region. It's a buying possibility region or a covering region. It's not a selling region right now. Right, back to these same sellers into these 10s, 30,000 and the 10s. I'm telling you, if you start to find a print above this with the excess we've seen on this 5 minute, I'd be concerned. I'd say sellers right now, 92s down to this low, are starting to get caught because you're not seeing follow through. But print over 10s again, maybe. The last 100 lot above was at 24s, so it's still chopping. What does RBS stand for? Resistance becomes support. The new open is going to become important here for ES as well. You're trading under it, you're back testing it right now. It's sensitive for the whole market right now. It is sensitive right now because the market's asking, hey, is this a higher time frame pullback? Or is this going to be a failed breakout? We're about to find out in the next few hours, I would say. It could literally take up to a few hours. I will start to be a buyer if we start to turn around here and leave these sellers trapped. We're not finding confirmation under 30,000 right now. We know we've just absorbed on a 5 minute under 30,000, right? Under here, we've just absorbed all these sellers. They are stuck. We know these big lots will get stuck if we start holding prints above 10. So I'm watching this if they start holding prints now. It's a very tough trade. If they turn and start holding prints, I'll watch it. I would need ES above the New York Open, and I'd want spiders back above the 750s, and I'd want SOXL back above 220s to like validate this. Otherwise, new lows can come. I don't need to look at the H4. I'm looking at the daily, and I'm saying only if it does something. I didn't say now, did I? I said only if it, like, I wonder if you guys use your ears sometimes. Come on, man. Only if it leaves these sellers trapped. Only if I see ES above New York Open. Only if SOXL reclaims 220s am I thinking about it. I didn't say I'm long here because it does this. Only if this, and this happens, am I going to take it? It gets exhausting when people, look at the H4, look at this, look at it. What do you think I do? Do you think I'm sat here trading an M1 like a fucking gypsy? Come on, man. Makes me laugh. All right, ES rejecting New York Open, trading back down to IB low. SOXL rejecting 220s, failing underneath 219. Yes, my trigger is my responsibility. So please stop being in YouTube trying to tell me what to do when we've taken very clear winners today, and you are not liking telling me, oh, I picked the tippy top and I don't fucking care. I'm telling you what I'm going to do. You look after yourself then, my friend. Man, egos be wild. Egos be wild. Big levels here. Big levels here. Yeah, GG's on the shorts. Yeah, everyone who took this from here, that like we talked about, you're getting paid, aren't you? You're in strong trend down. You've got 20% left now. Maybe you get this down here. I would say there's a little discrepancy between NinjaTrader. I've got 46s as value area low on NinjaTrader. It's there or thereabouts, right? So you could pay yourself a bit more here. If you get a complete collapse, you'll get the 900s. But, you know, maybe you've paid yourself a bit more into here, and you wait and see if you can get down here or not. But like I said, no stops have been run here. I'd be careful. No stops have been run here. Even if they're going to sell it, resell it, I'd watch this now. We built out a huge amount of liquidity up here now. Gypsy woman. It's the best film. She's a gypsy woman, Pamela. All right, let's see if we revisit 30,000s, and if we start to reclaim or not. It's a soft tape here. Very soft tape here at the moment. It's like slowed right down. 20 minutes to lunch. It's not really surprising. ES finding a bid off IB low, coming right back to its New York Open. They can just wash this around for a bit. $15-minute fair value gap. Couldn't give a fuck. Couldn't care less. 15-minute fair value gap. I'll show you the imbalance. It's here. That's your imbalance. All right. The next imbalance is right down here. There's nothing else. There's no actual imbalance. It's imaginary. Right? It's RBS zone or imbalances. we'll see. Wild gap on NQ if he tweets. I mean, there is. I think it's going to take more than a tweet. Like we said, if we gap down or something after something happens in after hours at any point this week, I agree. Like it's the overhead environment outside of the chip names is scary, right? Like Israel military announces larger ground operations in southern Lebanon. I mean, that's continued to go on for years, which obviously doesn't make me very happy. Talks with Iran extending ceasefire and reopening the Strait of Hormuz will take several more days. I mean, it's going to be a regurgitation of news forever at this point. We can only go by actual events. All right, back to the 30,000 test, which is now your VPOC and the VWAP. And the New York Open on ES, and the 750 on the Spiders. These are the important levels. This is probably getting a little bit squeaky for those of you who have still been short. You should have paid yourself a ton, but it's going to get harder and harder to hold, especially if they start breaking above here. So originally we talked about 45s, all right? I'd start being concerned of a break above 10s now for you guys in short. Same level as before. I'd be very careful about a break and a hold above 10s for you guys who are short. You're starting to see like a response from buyers. We're not seeing buyers walk up, all right? What I would say is the buyers are still down. 940, 945, 950, 965. They're still there. They're still waiting to get filled lower. We're not seeing them walk up. But I would say above 10s starts to get a bit concerning for you guys who are short. Again, I don't care about a 15-minute fair value gap, my friend. Please. I don't care. Your fucking mentor told you to go short last week when we took the squeeze up. Like, I don't care about made-up things. I care about real imbalances, which I just showed you on the screen. Real imbalances. I don't care about a giant block like that. I really couldn't give a shit. ES looking to extend its IB if it can get the break here. So relative weakness over there, as we talked about, because it's not pinned in with the semis. It's not cranky. It just gets fucking boring. You lot are so boring. Like, if you want to talk about fair value gaps, go and watch your mate. Go and watch your mate over there. Go and see how well he does. If you want to believe someone who got fucking abducted into a white van and thinks that God told him how to talk and that the market is made by one algorithm, even though he's not profitable, I question, do you still believe in Father Christmas? The Tooth Fairy? It's the same shit. Sorry, I'm 40. It's not cranky. I just couldn't give a fuck. We've called the whole market today. I told you why we came up here. I gave you the level. It was 20 for a reason. We're coming back into an RBS zone. I told you the first short today available was here. It wasn't before that. It was all this. I don't care about your fair value gap. I literally couldn't give a monkeys about your made up fair value gap, all right? It's a low volume node. I've told you where the actual imbalances are in them because they're real and where they are. It's not this whole thing. And these are the levels, right? This is your low volume node. This is a high volume node from the current week. If it can't hold the print here and squeeze, it will retest this, all right? If it wants to test an actual imbalance, they are right here. These are the actual imbalances, right? These two green lines, they're the actual imbalances. Other than that, I literally couldn't give a flying F, okay? It's bollocks. You're talking nonsense. So if you want to keep preaching that shit, that's cool. Do it somewhere else because I'll just boot you out because it just gets boring for you guys that come in and be like, oh my God, It's a unicorn. I'm going to ride the unicorn, baby. Shut the fuck up. Unicorn, bruv. I can't wait. Go and meet a real trader and tell him, I trade fair value gaps and unicorns. I can't wait to see the embarrassment you have in your face when he fucking laughs at you. Go and read any market wizards. I wonder how many of them talk about unicorns. How many of them? All of them, clearly. Fucking stupid. Okay, continuation. Still no recovery of 30,000. Still seeing weakness versus box. This is the next box it can transfer into if it wants to do that. If it wants to come lower. This is your value area low on the session. ES just printed outside its IB, straight back to IB. This could be a fail break. You definitely just had a seller come back into the true imbalance where they just sold. An actual imbalance. You just saw a seller come into there and get caught. I'm just fucking saying for you lot. Still liquidity underneath, not filled. I'm surprised they haven't filled the guys lower, to be honest. But it's still not walking up. Again, 30,000 and 30,000 tens. Seller's still in control under that. But for the first time, you have a big lot seller in that actual imbalance get caught. You can see him on the tape. You can see him at the low of day. Well, the low of this swing. Right, the moment, this guy just got absorbed. 310 lot. I'm on the wrong one, aren't I? This guy here. 310 lot. Right, you can see there's lots of buyers underneath looking to like get a wash down. We're just slowly walking down. You can see we're slowly walking down, but this is a bigger boy who just got absorbed here. It looks like it stops, to be honest. It looks like it's buyers stopping out. So we'll see if they come and fill these lot for you guys. I would start to trim more as you come into value area low now, sort of 40s, 30s and 40s. Start trimming. You need a break underneath this guy here for that last 20, 25%. You need a break under him. How do I see stop? It's more of what the indicator's printed. So it's not an absorption indicator, but 144 lots of those shorts were buyers stops. We know because it's data from CME. Ooh, what would you know? Real data, not imaginary data. Yes, real data that Bookmap pays for. Real data. Still certainly not a buy. You're just in a slow drip down trend at the moment. New lows here on SOXL. It's coming right down and in now. So chips giving back at least 50%, if not more, of this move. Yeah, let's measure this out from the open on the SOXL. Come on, Fibby. Yeah, into the 61 fib here on SOXL. Just be aware of that. You are into Mr. 61 fib on the SOXL here. Still under sell pressure. Into 24-hour VWAP here as well. Lower time frame algo here. Next grey box. So your runners look really good right now. You look fantastic. And I would really definitely protect 30,010. Maybe you can protect 30,000. If you want to get tight on your runner, just protect this POC now at 80. All right, so all you guys who took this, right, you can either move your stop to one of these, or if you want to get really tight to this, and hopefully you get a full collapse. I mean, that would be magnificent for you guys that took that. But I would trim your size down. You're into value area low on the session here. Guys, yes. Look, Spectre released as soon as NinjaTrader released it. You guys keep asking the same questions. I can't make them do it. All right, I've chased and chased and chased. I can't make them do it. They'll do it when they do it, right, Ninja Trader? They'll do it when they do it. I don't know when that would be. Hopefully soon. I did chase last week. I thought it'd be done last week. We had the bank holiday. It's clearly taking a little bit longer. Okay, grey box now tagged. Value area low now tagged. And you can just see now, this is your pivot. If you lose this pivot, we can come down into here, but I'd be down even more, trimming even more size now if I was you. I'd be trimming even more size now and just holding on to see how low you can go. No reason to cut the trade, just trim more size. No, there will be no trading view equivalent for Spectra. It's just too lagged behind. It's very, very hard to do. So reaction off grey box, a little bit of a wiggle. There's still liquidity. They're still adding liquidity lower on the book. I'm just like zoomed out all the way down to 880s now being added. So right down into here is being added on the book if they can get more of a flush. Yeah, exactly. Anyone asked about the glasses? How about where to do the course? How about what size counts trade? Okay, 900 on deck here. It's a really good trade for you guys. You're up, wow, like 180 points, right? If you get 900, you'd be up 180 points. Fantastic. Fantastic trade for you lot. How many of you are still in it, holding size from there? Here's value area low. So grey box here, value area low, big zone here. This is also current point of control from Sunday open. All right, so this level here is point of control from Sunday open as well. This is the most traded level. This right here is the biggest volume level since the Sunday open. Just be aware of that. So you might well see a reaction. Yeah, some of you still in it. Nice work, folks. Nice work. Nice work. It's very controlled. It is very, very controlled on this way down. If we think about structure, it's very, very controlled. Once they left this volume trap, it's just no stops have been swept yet, which would somewhat concern me for either today or later in the week. This is a controlled selling. Why am I better at trading my own capital than prop? Probably because you give it more respect. It's usually the way. A lot of people will blow through props or blow through evals because they're cheap, so they don't give it the respect they deserve. Think about it like, I don't know, you wear a nice watch or you wear a nice new pair of shoes which cost a lot of money, right? Like if they're leather, you polish those shoes. If they're nice shoes, you wipe them clean each day, right? You wear a shit pair of shoes, you go on a walk, you don't mind walking in a puddle. You don't care. You're like, fuck it, I'll walk in the puddle. I don't care about these shoes. That's probably what you're doing with your props. Their value gaps are not holding. Well, you know, I'm not even entertaining it at this point. They're imbalances. They're great for you guys to look at and learn, but you need to obey what the market's doing. Back to day open, yeah, that would be this blue line. Like I said, 900 on deck. Absolutely. It's on deck right now. And you're seeing just nothing but selling and they're walking down now. It's absolutely on deck right now. Here you go. There it is. So the next imbalance, right, is at 880s. And you're starting to see very, very aggressive players step on the tape right now. So NQ is trying to play the catch up to ES, which has lost its initial balance. SOXL is not quite at the same level yet at New York Open. That would require it to come down into sort of 210s, which was the level from today. And I will say this is looking more and more like a failed breakout if a push today or tomorrow fails 30,000 now, on an hourly it will look very weak. If a push today or tomorrow fails 30,000 on an hourly, we will look very weak. What I mean is, right, this is still holding. This was the break. All right, if we fail this, we can build out liquidity here, and that will leave the buyers that you are short against trapped. And the true breakdown will come underneath all of this later in the week. If we lose all of this, this will be very heavy down here. We can judge that as and when. And I guess the question is, did the Trumps get their exit at 30K? That'll be the big question, right? Did Donald get his exit at 30K? Was the lift holding for the 30K lift? Did he get his big fat exit? And do we find out in a month's time? Oh, he exited his position at 30K. Funny that. Just checking the news here. Nothing really, just same swirling headlines. Nothing's changed. We're almost at the New York Open. We're under the New York Open. The blue line is the New York Open. That's it. That's the New York Open. We're there. We're there already. We are already there. Guys, if you guys come and chat and start being idiots, asking the same questions, I'm gonna leave. It's starting to be stupid at this point. Please stop. Please stop. I'm not talking about the new indicator one more time today. Stop it. Stop. For goodness sake. Please stop. You're being silly. You're being silly at this point. All right. Value LR are getting extended. You're still holding these shorts. You still look fine. Just checking the lows. There was some selling under 90s. The last big lot sellers was at 930s. You're still under those. You still look okay. You look okay to hold. Certainly want to see it. If I was you, certainly not above 950s now. Not above 950s. Remember, you haven't washed any stops out on this move, so just be careful. Doesn't mean it can't keep selling. I'm just saying you haven't washed any stops out yet. Wait and see if these sellers walk down or not, or if you're going to see relief start here. You can watch ES into IB. That's going to be a great indication. And your view up here the same. You're under both. They might well lift it up to these 70s if they break through. Here's 30s. And here's ES into IB. This is going to be key now. Do you see IB rotation, or are you going to see IB expansion on ES? It's very clean here for you to risk versus, so it's about to make its decision. Where's that lined up? 25s, is it? Yeah, 25s. 25s is what you're watching on ES right now. Or it's what I'd be watching on ES right now, 25s. How long till lunch? Oh, it's lunch now. Wow. I don't know. Those of you who took this short, whether you want to get out into lunch, you're coming up to test these sellers. And if you break through here, you can lift up to 50s. So I'd just be very, very careful now. I'd start to consider getting out of this into lunch. Or at least trimming a lot of your size, right? If you haven't already. I don't know if some of you are still in this looking for more. ES right into IB. It's decision time for ES here. It has to make a decision. And if you get relief here, you do remember you have not taken out any of these stops. Just be very, very aware. Initial squeeze relief. we'll be right back into this block. All right, so if you were short from here, you have to ask the question, are you willing for it to trade into there to potentially break down and also potentially do that? That's how you need to think about your risk right now. You're short from here, you walked it down, you've made a ton of money. Do you want to risk the retest for a break of 30s and 50s to get you up to 70s and 80s? Are you willing to give that much back, which is basically 100 points, to make that make sense? You flatten at 900. Nice. That's a good flatten. Like we said, 900 revisit was coming up when once we broke this grey box, that became possible. It's really good. Really, really good. Why not hold short? Logan, I don't know if you're trying to troll, but like, I'll just remove you if you want to be silly. Am I going to go long soon? Not until lunch. Levels, I would not really long now unless we saw strong reclaim of, I mean, you might get a V shape. This maybe. Otherwise, no. I want to get back over this. Otherwise, this can be a failed breakout right now unless we get back over this. Again, this can now be a failed breakout. They had the chance to hold this to keep going. They failed. We've now come back into range, leaving buyers caught above 30,000. We've dipped down. We've held. Look at what we just held. Value area low since Sunday. All right, we're back above POC since Sunday. They can now fail the 30,000 shove, all right? And this will cause a problem. So I would need to see acceptance back above it to really want to play pro trend long. And this is starting to squeeze to the 50s. And remember, through the 50s, there's a seller at 60s. Through that, you can see relief all the way back up to 80s and 30,000. And like I said, you probably don't want to give too much back on your shorts that you've made all your money on. So just be aware of that. Look at all these covers starting to come in. And if you start to get a short squeeze here because people have got short too quickly at the lows, you're going to start to see relief, which is what you're starting to see. Look at ES back through IB now. Do not give too much back here, folks, because they can live right back to 30,000. Remember, the pro trend technically is higher, especially if it reclaims that 30,000 grey block above you. Just trying to help you. How can you tell there's absorption? Is it just when heavy delta but does not print higher low at a certain level? Would absorb be limit orders, pull their orders, get filled? No, absorption is not limit orders pulling their orders. Absorption is when you see aggressive buying take place in a key level without being able to break down. Like this 250 lot, that's a good auction at the low, 750. And then look at, if you think about where the selling started here, what do we hold here? Here's your first high low versus this. They're starting to get stuck. There's the rush to cover now. Where are we going? 80s and then 30,000. Why? We've now got this seller out of position. All right, so we're going to come and test this pivot at 80s. And like I said, we haven't run any stops, and we're going to test 30,000. Above 30,000, chance of a squeeze. But they can still come up here, set a lower high and sell. If you are watching on, if you don't have something like this, you could be watching on like the CVD or something like that. If you are starting to make like lower lows or new lows on CVD, like if you look at the bottom of here, but price doesn't move lower, this was actually aligned pretty well. But if this is selling off and price, if CVD is moving lower and price is moving higher, that means there's absorption on the tape, because what CVD is showing you is the delta. All right, there's the relief. Back to grey box, right? All right, and this is the level. This is, I'll set you up for the rest of the day. This is what I'll be watching for the rest of the day. All the time you're under this, remember, this is the print they held this morning, right? Resistance, support, traded up through. They tried to find support. We used it as resistance. They sold off. They're coming back to it. This is a big level psychologically and in terms of value. All right, point of control on the session as well. Above this, there's a chance to get back at least towards here, 65s. If they keep rejecting this, we go back in the rotation. The rotation is back down towards 900, possibly if they really let go down to here, but we can't really think about that right now. But this can still be a higher time frame pullback. The difference is if they held this, it's much more bullish. So they need to recover that. In my mind, that needs to be recovered. CVD, cumulative volume delta. How do I determine a true imbalance? It's where there's been a lack of activity both sides of the tape. All right, you can look at zero prints, or you can look at where like the only buyers have come in and they've pushed. Like I said, a lot of you look at imbalances, you don't even understand what they are, and that's not me being a prick, it's me being honest, right? If you looked at this, what's happened here? All this is very aggressive bullish behavior. Now inside of that, you're going to measure out the whole thing and say, oh, there's a huge imbalance there. But the truth is, there isn't. There's two areas where buyers got aggressive and it can be paired off. It's 53 to 52, and it's 36 to 35, all right? So here's one here, which is starting to hold. It's not all the way down here. It's here, and it's here. And look at the reaction. Okay, so it's true imbalances. It's where you are positioned one side, where we cannot pair off. Yes, SOXL, you're right. And let's set you up for that. The same thing we're talking about, this 30,000 level, this grey box level, the same reason we're talking about this is also SOXL 220. Is 220, isn't it? 220. All right, so that is also an over-under. All right, so SOXL 220. I'd be watching this. Same reason, right? It's where we got bullish out of this morning, not necessarily us specifically, the market, right? This zone. Right, if they start recovering, it's also gamma. If they start recovering this, again, has it run any stops? No stops, no stops, no stops, no stops. Maybe a tiny bit there. No stops, no stops, no stops, no stops, no stops, no stops. All right. If we start to base here and hold, this can accelerate back up very, very quickly. All right. Just understand that. Again, the main trend remains up. Main trend remains up. Nothing's changed. Right, this is pullbacks that can be absorbed. The only question now is a higher time frame, lower high set here, and do they need to come deeper? And the true backside will come when we leave the range. It's very, very similar to NQ. Right, if we just think about this, in fact, I'll just take you to an hourly over here. How do I get you there? Here we go. All right. This morning we were dip long, right? Because we'd completed this and we were dip long for these moves here, right? We take profit into this. Why did we take profit? Again, fib, measured move, right? Came into the fib. It's a measured move, 1.5. When we're up here, I said it might want to revisit this. If they were uber bullish, they would have built out versus this. The problem they now have is by showing a weak hand and coming back inside range, we can rotate range. What the problem now they now have is that this 30,000 buyers above there are stuck. So sellers, if I was a seller, I would be doing my absolute damnedest if I was a market maker seller to protect 30,000, to try and set a lower high and come back down into this. Right, so this will be the battleground right now. So if you're adamant on being dip long now, the problem is you have to respect this. If you break above and hold that, you have a shot. That is what we were talking about right now. This is the level. This grey box is the level. This will indicate what we're going to do for the rest of the day and maybe tomorrow. Now, if we gap down away from this tomorrow, great. We can look to trade inside these old value levels from Friday. If we gap above it, then we're going to look for dip longs again, the same thing. Nothing's changed, folks. It's just that the easy money was gone. We'll wait for it to come in. We were long from here. There's our trigger. You're long from here. You pay yourself. You're short from here. You pay yourself. You let it build out now. Right? You're inside this. Simple, right? Simple, simple, simple. Can you discuss fibs? I know you have high to low. Do you use retracements or extensions? I use both. Both. They both matter. Right? Today's target was an extension, wasn't it? It's not a retracement. It's an extension target. We can think about this move here. It's probably come too deep, to be honest. I mean, it needs to recover the 50. This even says even more. There's your 50% range. It needs to recover this to perk my interest at all right now for a long. At all. And it would need to recover this. It's too dangerous otherwise for the longs. What about the likes? How many likes are we at? Are we at 1,000 or we are? Okay. We can do giveaways. Where can you find my indicators for TradingView? On my website. They're paid though. One comes with the 20-hour course. The other one is you have to pay a little bit more money for, I'm afraid, my friend. All right, just type FZT once in chat. We'll give away a 50k, or actually we'll give away any size Apex account you want here. Please don't spam. Please, 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 please don't spam. You just get pulled out. All right, for me, I mean, you can argue here, but for me, I wouldn't be bullish until we reclaim up here. It's very, very dangerous to build out liquidity, especially over lunch. I think reclaim 30,000s, there's an argument for a retest, but that's where I'd be waiting for price alerts. And again, 30,000, 220. Just set price alerts. SOXL 220. Set a price alert. It will really, really help you. Really help you. What else to say while we're doing this? Take Profit Trader sale ends tonight. All right. Code FlowZone for that. 50% off. It ends tonight. This is your last day to do it. They are not extending it. They've already emailed everyone out. It will not be extended again. It was extended for Memorial Day. This is the last chance. So if you want to trade with Take Profit Trader, now is your time. All right. The prices go up for the resets and everything after tonight. Give you guys 30 seconds to do this. All right, let's pull this giveaway. Winner in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ham Slice. Ham Slice 4417. Are you here, Ham Slice? What a name. Ham Slice 4417. Nice. All right. Congratulations. Free Apex account on its way to you. All you need to do, email me, please. info@flowzonetrader.com. Show me you logged into your YouTube, ideally talking in the chat as well. Okay? Because people are trying to scam now. It's getting ridiculous in this chat. So, yeah, just send me a screenshot of that, info@flowzonetrader.com. I'll send you a free Apex account. You can use any size that you want. Any size, any type that you want for Apex. Congratulations. Congratulations. And that's pretty much it, folks. What is left to say? What the last sales which are left? I think Apex you have until the end of the day as well. Apex also 90% sell, ends today. Code FZT there. That's your last day to get it. And you've still got a chance to get Lucid. That's still going 50% on your first 2 accounts, 40% after that. Code FZT. You can also do that on direct funded if you want. If you're impatient and you want to get 50% off direct funded, it also does it there. It's any type of account you want. That's it, folks. What's your aim of teaching all this info before buying your course? What do you mean, what's my aim? There's a lot more info than what I teach you here in my courses, my friend. I don't give you all the source here. I give you enough that you can try and learn, all right? And some of the questions today are hilarious. It's like you don't want me to be here at this point. Am I going to take more trades? I'm going to set price alerts. If we start to find a bid above this, I will consider longs. If we start to come under this, I'll probably set price alerts down here to watch both sides, to consider both shorts and longs. So the trap down here would be looking like this. And the sell down here would be like this, down into all of this, fill the gap, fill all of this. I don't think we get that today. I think that's more likely to come later in the week, but we'll see. We will just have to see how it sets up. But that's all I will be doing. I'll be waiting now. The links to the course are all pinned to the chat, guys. You can just head over to flowzonetrader.com. Everything's there if you're actually interested. But like I said, do everything on my YouTube for free first. Save yourself some money, learn as much as you can, make sure you like how I teach. How do you get into the Discord, Haley? Haley, if you scroll to the end of the course, there's a module on what to do. If you just do what it says there, I'll set you up with the Discord straight away. Fibonacci, well, it's just do the usual settings, your standard Fibonacci settings, and add on a 1.5 and a 2. That's all you really need to do for a measured move. All right, folks, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Those on Discord, I'll see you in there shortly. If I've got the energy, I'd love to get off the screen and go to the gym. This time next year, 1 million subs? I doubt it. I doubt it. They move very, very slow. What's the opinion on the new stocks and shares ISA rules for April 2027? Read the tax interest invested rate. Well, they haven't lowered it, right? They said they were going to, but they haven't. The thing is that the safe havens, you've got to put it into ETFs, basically. And they're not going to let you put it in. Well, I don't know if that passed or not. Dummy dum dum. You'd have to let me know. Did they pass the rule on not letting you put it into government bonds and stuff like that? And you can't just collect 3.8% or whatever it is. I don't know. I have to do some reading up on it. But most of my money in that is in ETFs anyway, and I trade it actively. So it doesn't really affect me as much. Yeah. Yeah, I'd need to check it. I don't think. Look, I'm going to be honest. Given what's gone on recently in those elections, I cannot see Labour changing that. That would be absolutely guaranteed. I mean, they've already guaranteed the end of them. But if they changed that, that's it. It's game over. They ain't making a comeback from that. You can't do everything you said you weren't going to do and then absolutely hurt people on their savings. That would be the end of them. That would be the absolute end of them, and it already looks like the end of them. It looks like a two-party race at the moment as it is. So yeah, that's what I'd say. That's what I'd say. I don't think it would get changed. I doubt it, but I'll do some research in case I eat my words here. All right, folks. So you know what you're looking for. This is your over/under. I'd be watching this level, and this down here, and I wouldn't be trading anything else other than that. All right. You can lean on that if they're really going to break down, but you've done the move. You can bid on that if they break out and hold above it. Other than that, leave it alone. You're in lunch now. Volume's gone. Liquidity's gone. Let it build out. Watch the 220s on SOXL. And other than that, leave it alone. We've made our money, right? Most of you made this with me today. Some of you took this without me today, which is just as good, if not even better. It's very, very impressive. And we go again tomorrow. Peace and love, everyone. Use hard stops. Be kind to each other. And don't forget, there's a thing out there called Google. You can always ask it questions instead of me, right? Peace out. I'll see you soon.